Hey, what's going on? It's finally Friday night.
Yep.
God damn it.
Yeah, we're not going out, so we're just gonna usher you into your weekend.
So we can get as drunk as we want.
Yeah, we're gonna see if we're gonna get drunk for a while.
I even went down earlier and had to get a whole new bottle of vodka because we were almost out. Like, it's like 5 o'clock, and I kind of walked through the living room, and I was like, oh shit, we only have like that much vodka left. And I'm like, that's not acceptable. So I had to go, and then I went to get Tom, and he was taking a nap. So I was like, well, shit, I'll just go down and get some.
Got Sebastian in here, got Danny, Murder Hornet, Zach,
York Rock Da Vinci. Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's my favorite.
It's Yorker Rock.
Is it Yorker Rock or York
Rock? Yeah, they're all starting. People are starting to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all.
Hooray!
Yeah. Okay.
I think this might be my favorite show of the week to do.
Because it's low. It's easy.
Because it's low stress. Although I will say,
just chit chat and get drunk.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have to like research anything or anything like
Answer
that.
Questions
which I like. Which I like doing that. But it's just kind of like, you know what I mean. On here we can just talk about whatever. I was gonna say, I was telling him before the show started. I'm actually really proud of how our Dragons show came out Wednesday night. I was like, because I covered everything I wanted to cover. I think I got like all the information, and I thought it was really interesting. And I think we stayed on topic about 80% of the time.
Yeah,
which is a really good.
You gave me a heads up. You had a shit ton of fucking information, so I stopped. I made sure I wasn't commenting.
But the thing about it is that even when we went off on tangents, it was still like about mythology. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it wasn't that far off. It wasn't like we were just like talking about.
What was it? 3-hour show?
I think it ended up being almost 4 hours. Fuck. But like I said, I covered everything I wanted to cover, and I was just because I was really
charge them extra for that.
I was gonna say I was really stressed out beforehand because I spent like almost 2 entire days like researching that show because there's so much stuff about it that I had to like winnow it all down and like put it in a framework that made sense and was like interesting and stuff because there was tons of other information that I had to take out. So I was like stressing out about it, but you know what I mean? But it came out good, and so I was like really happy. And like it seemed like a lot of people commented that. Yeah. They really liked and they wanted more like stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't realize how many dragons there were in Greek mythology. Mm-hmm. It's just I didn't recognize them as dragons.
Yeah.
But that's what they were. Dragon is a serpent, so everything that was a serpent. Hydras.
Yeah, because that's what the word started out meaning. So it didn't like mean the whole like Game of Thrones situation like until later on, right? So yeah, that's what it was.
And that Quetzalcoatl, Quetzalcoatl was a dragon. Yeah.
Oh, Zach says, so guess how my day started? Was hungover and had to pee real bad. Toilet's clogged. Oh my god, I hate when that happens. I go to unclog it, damn thing overflowed all over the floor.
Damn. Should have just pissed down the sink.
Or in the shower.
Yeah.
Just flush it down. I mean, that's what I would have done. So I'm like, fuck this. Fuck this.
Gotta go now.
Yeah. Yeah, Zach said, and this was before I'd even had breakfast or coffee. See, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've had that same exact thing happen.
One time we had a toilet back up on us at the old place for no reason at all. Just flushed the toilet and water started coming out of the damn...
Yeah. From underneath
the toilet. Yeah, it was like fresh water. It didn't stink, but it was filling up the whole bathroom. We were just throwing towels.
We're like, no!
Trying to figure out what had happened. And I just plunged it, and I heard something go brook out of the fucking big bathtub that we had at the old place, and then
the big garden tub.
Yeah, and then it all went down.
It was really
some kind of weird
bubble. I think it was some kind of blockage that was like near where the washing machine drained out.
Yeah.
I think that's where the blockage was.
Yeah, the water. Yeah, that water may have come from the washing machine. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, at least...
It didn't smell like sewage.
Yeah, at least thank God that it was just water. Like, it wasn't like horrible sewage, but yeah. But it just kept coming, and I was like, oh no! It's like just coming out all over the fucking bathroom floor.
For no real reason that we could see.
Yeah, there wasn't anything like clogging the toilet in there. It was in the plumbing someplace else. The plumbing in that place was so weird. Yeah. It was on like 2 different circuits because like one half of the house, because that house was just one story. Yeah. Like one half of the house seemed to have its own little piping situation going on, and it was fine. But then like our side where our bedroom was the same as the washing machine thing. So I think when something blocked like near the washing machine, like it backed up into the tub and everything like that.
They were real pretty houses in a real nice gated community. Looked like something out of, I would make videos outside about my Buell and shit, and some of my friends in Brazil who had Buells would fucking go, God damn, look at that neighborhood, because they don't have anything like that in Brazil. And then they were says it looks like part of Disneyland, and I was like, yeah,
it kind of
is.
It kind of does, yeah.
And it's everything kind of looks like that around here in certain areas. Well, the new stuff looks like something belonged to Disney Empire, but the houses looked real pretty, but they were built very quickly.
Yeah.
And kind of the things like the fucking faucets and the handles and doorknobs on things, they were just kind of cheap.
Yeah.
And there's no telling how well thought out the plumbing was, because it didn't seem to work.
I think not very.
I don't think they really thought it out too well.
Even though they're asking like $400,000, $500,000 for those houses.
Yeah. I think that one was $375.
I think, yeah. And like I said, that was much smaller than this house, but
this one was $475.
That one with that house we lived in was what? It was 4-bedroom.
Yeah.
3.5 bath.
Yeah, but the bedrooms, half the bedrooms were very small.
Were really small. Like one of them I just used for my office.
I would call it a 2-bedroom.
Yeah. Like the master bedroom was real big. Like it was big enough for like a bedroom and like a living room.
Yeah, walk-in closets, and it had its own bathroom. It was enclosed.
It had a garden tub and a stand-up shower, like separate, which I thought was neat.
It was nice.
And it had like a huge walk-in closet, which I really liked.
The bathroom area was the size of a lot of rooms.
Yeah, it was big.
Like a bedroom, yeah.
Like it had this big, long, double sink and all this other stuff.
Too bad we didn't get to make any porn in that. That was a porn set. Fucking just
too late now. We can't go back. Well, our landlords live there now.
They live there now. Yeah.
Because that was the house they owned. But yeah,
redoing the landscaping out here.
Yeah, that's what Tom's been working on the last few days.
Got a guy helping me lay it out and everything.
Tore out a bunch of there was a bunch of shrubbery in front of the house.
I cut out fucking 5.
And we cut them all down.
I cut out 5 huge bushes, and then I had to hire a guy to come and fucking grind the stumps out.
Yeah.
And then just finishing up, and it's fucking a pain in the ass. After Christmas, he's gonna come and he's gonna fucking lay it out. He's got a design. I'm not a landscaper. I'm just paying for him to design it. I'm gonna buy the trees and shit from him, and I'll put it in there. But when it's in, the value of the house should go up. It already did go up. I think I've made $25,000 on this
so far.
Yeah, just because
How much was this when we bought it? $475.
It's $500 now.
Okay. But but this is a big. I don't even remember what the exact, square footage is.
If I keep
4,000 something.
If I keep working on it and fixing on it, because this is now becoming an area where they're building all kinds of shit around here.
Yeah, they're building shit around here. It's rural, but it's not going to be for long.
I'm hoping that in 10 years this might be an $800,000 house.
Yeah, maybe we can sell it and make it.
Yeah, I would just sell it. I would sell it. And then pocket the rest of it.
I mean, maybe so. We might be able to.
Yeah.
Because like I said, this is a big... I mean, it'll be older, but this area is building up. Yeah. And the thing about it is that I was going to say one of the...
It's not that old.
Yeah, it's not.
This house is
one of the things, the only thing I didn't like about the old house was that the houses in that neighborhood, they were all really pretty, but they were... kind of too close. They were too close together.
Right on top of each other.
They were too close together. Like we could look at our bedroom window, and like our neighbor's window was right there, like 10 feet away.
Yeah. This is on an acre of land.
But this house, we've got lots of neighbors. It's a big neighborhood, but everybody has big lots.
Yeah. Well, in this part of the community.
Yeah.
This is not a gated community, but it should be. It was built to be one.
Yeah, you can just drive in. It's
got gated. 2 entrances. A front one and a back one.
But has its own restaurant too.
Yeah, it's got its own restaurant, its own golf course. It doesn't have its own gym, and it doesn't have its own pool, which it should.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
The 2 entrances are built to where there's an in lane and an out lane, in lanes and out lanes, so they can put guard booths there and gates, which eventually is going to happen because
they probably
keep robbing cars. They keep hitting the cars here.
Yeah, there have been a lot of cars broken into like, in this neighborhood because I'm on the next door like neighborhood thing, and it's like people are always pissing and moaning about. I'm just like, lucky for me, nobody wants my fucking car because it's a piece of crap, and there's nothing in there that you would want.
We just leave it open.
I just leave it open. I'm like, hey, take it. I'm insured. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm gonna buy a car here soon.
Yeah.
Once Jen's.
Well, you might have to keep that in the garage. I just park mine out on the driveway.
But then I got those generators in there. I got that ride-on lawnmower, motorcycles. Where am I going to put all this shit?
That's true.
But if we do,
the garage is not big. Like our old house, that was another thing. We had 2 garages at that. We had a 2-car garage and then like a little 1-car garage that had like the lawnmower and all that other shit in it. And motorcycles.
I'm gonna make room for stuff. I'm gonna have to. Because I don't think I can leave that car outside.
Probably not. Well, not with all of the car robberies going on.
Unless I got a badass alarm on it.
My shit never gets broken into because my car looks like ass.
I'm going to get...
She's a good car, though.
I've decided I'm going to get a Kia Soul.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah. I like that. I drove one, and I liked it. And
yeah, you drove one when you went to Mississippi to visit your dad, right? You rented one.
Yeah. And I said, man, I'm going to get one of these cars. And it's just like a little bitty van. It's the size of a small car, but it's kind of tall.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of having something that's like a car, but also has like a little bit of like an SUV kind of situation. Because I don't really want an SUV because I don't like driving anything that big.
It's like an SUV the size of a compact car.
Yeah, see, I like that idea.
And it had a good back seat in it. It had a nice little trunk, and it was kind of reminded me of a deluxe Jeep. Like you took a Jeep and built it on a car chassis. Right. Kind of what it was like. But it had a real good sound system, and it was fast and nimble for something that looks so lame. They look kind of lame.
They're very boxy.
Like a box. But I still liked it.
I think they're kind of cute, though. I'm not one of those people that it's like, I'm not super concerned about what the car looks like. I just want something with good gas mileage that is practical for my lifestyle. If it looks kind of wonky or people think it's lame or something, I don't really care about that. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
But every now and then, I was checking. You can get them maybe 3 years old with 40,000 miles on them for about 15 grand here, 16 grand, and that's about right. I'm not going to pay fucking 25,000, 30,000 for a new car. No, especially with what they're offering. These new cars, they're not all that great.
It's much better to get one that's just a few years old.
A couple years old, yeah.
Because if you buy a new one, I mean, they lose like a lot of their value in the first year or two,
right.
So you might as well just get one that's a few years old.
I want something that got repossessed off somebody. They couldn't afford it, you know what I mean? Fucking, they lost their job, and it's got fucking 40 grand on it, 40,000 miles. I get a better deal with something like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And all the new electronics and everything are so much better than what we're used to. Got fucking GPS is built in, and your fucking sound system's got Bluetooth. You
got the backup cameras.
You got backup cameras,
which is nice. I could use that.
Yeah.
Cause shit, man, my car is an old ass, basic as shit Ford Taurus from 2004.
Feel like a teenager in that thing.
Nothing. It has nothing. It has a tape deck.
When I was a teenager, that car was fucking high tech. RoboCop was driving one in the movies. And I said, "Boy, that's a futuristic ass car." But now, man, fucking, they're kind of a heavy, slow, ponderous kind of car for its size, and they don't get great gas mileage really.
Yeah,
yours is a V6.
Gets okay.
Yours is a V6, I think.
I don't drive it a lot anymore.
You're right.
So.
Right. I just want something. Either like a Honda Fit, but those things are so fucking expensive.
I liked my Honda Fit. I bought a new one in 2013, and it was really good.
I imagine the electronic packages are so much better.
Oh, yeah, it's much better. That was the first and only new car I ever bought in my whole entire life.
Her old Honda Fit was fun to drive. That fucker was fast. I mean, I couldn't believe that such a wimpy-looking car. I'd look down and it's going like 120. On the freeway.
Yeah, see, I gotta watch with that because I will absolutely go 100 miles an hour.
It didn't feel like I was going 120. 110, I think.
Because I'm just like, do, and then I'm like, oh, whoops.
All right. It was like fucking 4 o'clock in the morning coming back from the castle. Fucking goth club. I was heading towards Orlando. And fucking, I said, man, this car's fucking awesome, man. I love how it rides because I was used to my fucking bombed out Mustang.
Your Mustang.
Mustang had dual door,
which I drove.
Dual fucking thrush.
That car was so low to the ground and it was so heavy. It's like whenever I drove it, it was like I'd be going 60 miles an hour, but it felt like I was going 30 miles an hour because I kept like pushing the gas, going, "This is so slow."
Yeah, it's an illusion. But then when you get up to 90. On that old Mustang, it felt like you were going like 130. You felt like you were going much faster than you should have been because you really were. You were going too fast. You couldn't stop that car in time. It just weighed so much. I had a chick in I forgot what kind of car it was. It wasn't. It was a little bitty compact car. She rear-ended me and it fucking totaled her car. It crushed the whole fucking front end and it barely knocked the paint off the bumper. That Mustang. And she's like, well, how come it didn't do any damage? And I says, that's a fucking 1994 fucking
That's an
Ford
old
Mustang.
ass,
That's all
heavy
fucking,
ass car.
It's all steel. Yeah. Steel and plastic.
Yeah.
It weighed a lot. But yeah, she rear-ended me at the light. Fucking it just crushed her front end in. It was what the fucking was... I think it might have been a Mazda.
Well, they design cars... More recent cars, they designed them to kind of, like, crush the front end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to prevent, like, people from getting... Yeah, like...
Her car was still running.
Yeah.
And she's like, the thing is, I don't have any insurance and my license is...
Oh, well...
And I said, well, there's nothing you can do about it. So I just fucking tied her... hood down.
Right.
She had a shirt, a t-shirt in the back seat, and I tied it down, and she was able to drive away. It was still running.
Huh.
But it was
that's something.
But the radiator had moved about 6 or 7 inches to the rear, and it had a big fucking the fucking thing was flat.
But it was still running. Though.
It was still running.
That's funny.
Yeah, I looked at it. It was just the frame and the thing that was holding the radiator.
Yeah.
And the bumper, it mushed itself in. It didn't damage the wheels or the engine. It was just like empty space. It just crushed in, and the body panels were like plastic, and the fucking hood was it was metal, but it popped back into shape and it no longer fit properly. So the hood latches didn't line up anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because the bottom latch had moved in about 4 or 5 inches. And she's going, what do I do? And I tied it shut and I said, you should be able to find somebody around here that can pound that front end back out until the latches line up and the hood will lock. It didn't look that bad.
Right.
Because a lot of the quarter panels were like plastic. So if the fucking metal frame was put back in position, the body parts would go back to where they were, Yeah. It was weird.
Man, the accident I was in, which was... It must have been 2014, I want to say. 2015. Because it was when I still worked at that print shop, because I got in the accident on the way to work at that print shop. And that was... I was driving my old... Nissan Sentra. It was a Nissan Sentra.
Yeah.
It was also old. I think that was also a 2004. And what happened was I went into the turn lane. The light was green, because I was turning right and the people in front of me were turning right and the light was green. For whatever reason, not the person in front of me, there was an SUV in front of me, like a big one. The person in front of that person, just stopped dead for some reason. I don't know why. Because like I said, the light was green. And I couldn't see that person stopping dead because there was an SUV in front of me and I couldn't see the car in front of them. So the SUV in front of me stopped dead and I rear-ended that person. I really didn't have time to do much of anything except scream and then I hit them. It crushed the whole front end of my Nissan and... the airbags came out and everything. And, luckily I was not hurt at all. The car obviously didn't run anymore. But, I didn't get charged. I didn't get blamed or anything. Even though I was you know, even though I had rear-ended them, but I was just kind of like, yeah, but the person in front of them, because the guy driving the SUV, the SUV wasn't even, it didn't even make a dent. Like, he's like, basically all that happened was his coffee went all over the fucking cabin. But you know what I mean? But that's all that happened. He wasn't hurt, nothing. And so, but they were like, yeah, we didn't know why the person in front of that person just like stopped suddenly because the light was green. So I don't really know why that happened. But, so I didn't really have time to stop. But, yeah, so.
Gramthars is in there. What's up, Gram? You said the average car note is now $700 a month. Yeah, I've been looking at what I'm looking at, you know, which is like something under 15 grand. I can get what I want for about 14, between 13 and 14. So it would probably be about 300. And then you got your insurance. Because of my age and driving record and my credit and everything, it probably costs about 400 a month.
Yeah, you could get a good deal.
And then me and Jen will go half on it.
Yeah. Because it's going to be under your name because my credit's not good.
Yeah, right.
So we're going to put the car under his name when we buy another one.
Yeah, I might not even put you on the insurance. Because you won't be needing to drive it. I'm the one that's always drive it when we go anywhere.
That's true. I mean, it would be good for me to be on it in case I needed to go someplace, you know, like to visit my sister, or if I needed to go to the store or something like that, like when you weren't here, or something like that. That would just be a blue
moon, though, and I think
that's true.
You can drive other people's cars.
Yeah, you can.
So every time we go anywhere, we work from home.
Yeah.
So our insurance will be cheap. I'm retired, and you're working from home, so there's no commute. We got great driving records. My shit's perfect.
Yeah.
Even with those fucking sport bikes, perfect. So
yeah, you haven't even been in any. Well, I mean, you've been in a couple wrecks.
Nothing involving another vehicle.
But nothing involving another vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the motorcycle wreck you were in, that was just you.
Just me.
Yeah, because you hit a cat.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But yeah, I've only been in one accident, and like I said, nobody was hurt. My car was totaled, but nobody else got hurt.
And they never fuck with me for speeding. See, I understand the cop mentality. See, Gramthars, that's my buddy in there. We went to school together. He's a cop. He's an ex-cop. First of all, I know what I'm doing on a motorcycle, and I dress like I know what I'm doing. I'm wearing all fucking gear. Motorcycle gear, armor, helmet.
Yeah.
Fucking shit tons of fucking...
I wear
a damn racing suit and racing armor.
Worry a lot more about you if you didn't wear all your stuff.
I wear a two-piece. I don't wear the one-piece, but I wear a two-piece. So the cops don't even check me. They go, because I don't know what it is. I guess cops like safety gear, and they like shit that looks professional. And if you're on there with a fucking wife beater, a cigarette holding out, no helmet,
and flip-flops,
they're coming after you.
Well, probably justifiably,
because they know you've never been in a wreck. You don't know what the fuck you're doing.
You don't care.
Yeah, you're ripe to fucking wipe out and kill yourself.
Sure.
So they'll just fucking pull you over to fucking try to save your life because you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You know, I'm wearing full body armor and fucking shit that fucking, and it's all black with fucking white fucking Pegasus wings on the back and fucking helmets and fucking armored gloves and shit. And they just look at my license plate. And they see that the shit's fucking up to date, and they go, yeah, he's good. And they've seen me speed, but it's never triple digits. You know, it's the same as the way cars speed here. Cars speed.
I can't really criticize because I always speed.
Cars speed here. The legal limit.
If I can get away with it.
The legal limit here is 70 miles an hour. 80 is real common. But on a highway. Now, you're in a 45 zone, you can get away with 55. On a motorcycle, you might get away with a little bit more. Depends on where you're at. If you're in a bad neighborhood, they're gonna pop you. If you're in a good neighborhood, they just let you go.
Yeah, as long as you're not obviously endangering.
Yeah, the cops in the good neighborhoods here are fucking well fed. They're well fed, well paid, and they know the locals and shit.
They're probably like, man, I just want to sit in my car and eat my.
Well, they're not making their money off fines.
Yeah,
that's not how that. You know, in some of the real more rough areas, fines are a huge source of income to keep the. Because there's not much tax revenue there. So they fine people. It's really what I was talking about when I grew up in Brazil. The police in third world nations, they're run as an anarcho-tyranny. That's what they are. The police are not there to stop crime because they're not going to stop crime. They're not getting paid enough. They don't give a shit about that. They're there to write fines. and tickets. The quality of the fucking police in a third world or developing nation or just a tyranny, which is what Brazil was. The quality of the police is like underneath the quality of a mall cop. Nobody wants that job because if they do try to enforce the law or save somebody, they're going to get in trouble for shooting somebody. So they don't want to shoot anybody. It's kind of like what you're seeing around some of these major cities now, where like Chicago and everything, where New York, where the police are afraid to do anything because they might go to jail. That's the way Brazil was. So the cops were just useless. And the streets were run by organized crime cartels and ex-military militias. Guns were banned, but they were fucking everywhere. If the cops ever fucking caught a guy who was a drug dealer and he had guns, they took the guns, but they let the drug dealer go. Then they gave the guns or sold the guns to their friends in the militias. So that's why I hear a lot of these American peoples talking about law and Europeans talking about law, and it's like they're set on fucking novice. I was set on expert. None of those rules that you come up with actually work. Any kind of laws you come up with, they don't work in a society that has low trust, which that's eventually what happens. Everybody becomes crooked over time as a civilization starts to decline. It becomes like the Star Trek mirror universe. Everyone is corrupt. Everyone's on the take. None of the laws really work. None of the rules work. I'm starting to see it here. So, but it's funny, a lot of people are freaking out. To me, it's just, I grew up in it, so it's just normal for me. I'm like, yeah, this place is like Brazil now. I'm gonna get some fucking ice. Want some ice?
Yeah, and more. Might as well refill it because it's almost down at the bottom. John Smith said, aesthetically, I love the American hot rod look. Shame they're rolling death traps. Yeah, I mean, they do look cool, for sure. Danny says, all cars are tin can death traps without a roll cage. Yeah, they are. Zach says, I don't exactly trust myself to drive. I don't either, frankly. I mean, I do, but I'm always nervous, like, every time. And if me and him are going somewhere together, then he's driving. I'm not driving. But I'm also thinking, who can afford a car anymore, let alone all it takes to maintain the upkeep for one? Yeah, they are kind of like, I mean, I've been kind of lucky with my old-ass, shitty-looking car. She hasn't really needed a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously you have to put gas in it and have to pay insurance and stuff, but I haven't really had, I don't really want to say anything to jinx it, but I haven't really had any huge, big expenses, like, since I've had that. Like, it just keeps on, it's got little problems, but nothing that keeps it from running. Like I said, it looks terrible on the outside and on the inside. Like, it just looks like, and Tom's like, he's like, we need to get a new car because this is like embarrassing at this point because it looks so bad. But because honestly, it's silver, but the Florida sun has like cooked off like large patches of the paint. You know what I mean? And it's got like rust and stuff like that because it's 2004. It's really old. So
but the Taurus.
But yeah, but it's still, like I said, it still runs, and it's been like probably the most reliable car I've ever owned.
That was the last year of the Ford Taurus.
It just keeps on trucking.
That you saw on RoboCop. It had been around for like 20 years at that point.
Yeah, I've never had a major problem with it.
It got to the point to where shit, man, nothing would break on those things, and then every part, all the components are very inexpensive. You can get them from AutoZone. So you could keep that car running for a long time. Yeah,
and we have done. Like, yeah. I don't remember the last time that I had to, like, spend a lot of money on that.
Had to spend $20 for the switch to the fucking control.
Yeah, but $20, that's like, not, that's it. That's like the last major expense.
No, the last major expense we did was replacing the air conditioning compressor.
That's right. We
had to redo the compressor.
That was a while back.
It's about $1,000 for that.
That was a while back.
But you cannot have a car in Florida without air conditioning.
No,
it's not possible. No, it's just not possible. The inside of that car would rot.
Yeah, that too. Plus, you would just like die.
You would die of heat, and it would just stink constantly.
Yeah, and it would grow mold too.
Yeah, because you got to have something to dry the interior of the car out.
Yeah, like it's Florida. Everything's damp.
Yeah,
all the time.
100% humidity all year round.
Yeah, pretty much. Better in the winter, but not much better.
There's not much of a winter.
No, not really.
It just gets down in the 70s.
It was kind of, when I went out to the liquor store at 5 o'clock, it was kind of nice. It was cloudy.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of starting to get dark, and it was like, it was pleasantly cool. Like, and it's been real windy. Like, the last couple of days have been real windy.
So he was talking about hot rods when I left. What was that? What did he say?
Oh, he said that they like the American hot rod look. Shame they're all rolling death traps.
Well, he must be talking about the original, what you would call hot rods, like from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Is that what he's talking about?
Because he was saying, too, that it's like the 50s did have a whole genre of music dedicated to car crashes. They did,
yeah. That was a different era, though. They weren't death traps compared to the other cars that were on the road. They were just like the other cars that were on the road at the time.
Cars back then didn't even have fucking seat belts or nothing.
So the standards were very different. We still see those running around every now and then. We just saw one the other day. Fucking, remember that thing?
Yeah.
That hot rod exposed engine and everything. Totally illegal, but you can run it here as a classic car. The cops aren't going to fuck with you.
Well, they have classic car shows here, like, a lot.
Right.
So like weekends you'll be driving around and then you see like all these like old cars like back from the 20s and shit like that driving around that have all been restored.
The problem with them is that they were all steel, which made them very heavy. Didn't matter how small it was or how wispy it looked. It was all steel. They had mechanical brakes. They weren't using hydraulic brakes, so they didn't have much ability. They didn't have much of an ability to stop. But they weren't fast either. See, that's another thing people forget. Her Ford Taurus, that's fucking 20 years old, is much faster than those cars.
Yeah.
They weren't very fast. And once you did kind of do mods to make them fast, they were now under-braked. So, they weren't really hot rods. They just looked cool.
Yeah.
And they were hot rods in the context of the time. Most of those American cars weren't very high performance. Just follow Steve McQueen, what he had when he was an actor. He was a race car driver. He always had the best of the shit. He had a lot of money in his day. And he was in the California car scene. And whenever a new car would come out, he'd buy it. And then he'd send it to a high-performance shop and have it fucking tuned and perfected and the brakes replaced. And he had everything over time. You could always tell what the best car was for the time if Steve McQueen had it. You know, you look at what he had. Even Ferraris and shit weren't all that fast when they first appeared. They are now. But like I said, the standards are all very different. The Mustangs weren't fast by today's standards. Now, they got some shit out today that's pretty good. The new fucking Corvettes are fucking blistering fast. The problem with the new Corvette is that here in Florida, whenever you see one, and you pull up next to it, it's always an old man driving it. So that's an old man's car. You never see a young guy in a Corvette. I mean, it's like, it's like a dude in his 70s or 80s in that fucking
He's waiting his whole life to buy that
Yeah.
thing.
So it's like...
Until he can afford it.
It's the old man car of Florida.
Yeah.
Which kind of tarnishes it. The two best cars that were considered to be hot rods that still exist are the modern hot rods. Mustang GT and the Cobra editions, they're pretty good. They're not as fast as that Corvette though, but they've got that look. And that Dodge, what's it called? What's that thing called? Fucking
Not the Viper.
No. It's got that flat front end on it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Shit.
Yeah, what the fuck is the name of that thing?
Yeah, a lot of guys buy those. They're now getting to where there are old ones out that are all ragged out with bad paint. You can get them for cheap now. Dodge fucking... not the Challenger. The Challenger is a good one, but it's the model underneath the Challenger. Maybe it is Challenger.
Yeah, it might be. The Dodge fucker. Wouldn't that be a good...
It had a flat front end.
Somebody should call a car a fucker. That would be really good. The Ford fucker.
Yeah. Although
I'd buy
out of the
that.
two, I'd probably take the Mustang. I'd take a Mustang GT over the fucking
I'd buy a
Dodge.
car that was called that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. James says, sorry, haven't kept up. Did the job in Orlando stop?
Charger, that's right.
Yeah, oh, okay.
The Charger and the Challenger. Yeah. I think the Challenger's faster. It's the same car, I think, but if I remember correctly, but it's souped up a lot. The Dodge Charger. It has a real gangster look to it. You see a lot of fucking wannabe gangsters driving those. Got the flat front end and the fucking kind of low. I think it's a 2-door. It looks good. Good looking car. And that has that American hot rod look to it.
Oh, but I was going to say that I was working in Daytona, actually, which is about an hour from here. And I quit that in, like, early September because I just couldn't do the drive anymore. It was just too much. So I've just been doing, like, freelance, cobbling shit together.
Yeah, and she's got another new freelance gig. That's we're just waiting on it right now.
Yeah.
We're waiting to get final approval.
Yeah, it's gonna be part-time, but it's gonna be enough to
pretty lucrative.
Yeah, like it's pretty lucrative, like what they're paying.
Yeah.
So that's gonna start soon too. So I'm happy about that.
And once she stabilizes that, we're gonna get rid of that jalopy. We're gonna get a new car.
Don't let her hear you say that.
We're gonna make that car's gonna get a good home.
Because like I said, it still runs.
Yeah.
I've never had a single problem with it. I don't think.
The door panels on the inside are busted out.
Yeah, but like I said, it doesn't. She doesn't look pretty.
No,
she's pretty ugly.
It needs another paint job.
Yeah, like the indoor.
You don't want to sink $1,000 in a paint job.
Every time you close the doors,
the little
panels on the inside like fall out.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's still got a tape deck. I have one of those things that you get at AutoZone, that you put the tape in the tape deck, and then it has a wire that you hook up to your phone so you can play Spotify or whatever, over through the speakers. So I still have to do that.
Yeah,
it's so old it doesn't even have a fucking CD player.
It's fucking pitiful.
It is, yeah.
We're gonna get a new, and we show up to the club and that shit, and I'm getting embarrassed. It was all right when it had paint on it.
Yeah.
But in a period of about 2 years, the paint just fucking boiled away.
Yeah, so it's got like big.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's got like big
fucking missing spots on the roof and the fucking hood. The paint has boiled off.
Now I will note that it's not as bad. I would submit that if you live in Florida, don't get a red car.
No, it'll be pink in 2 years.
That's the worst color to get.
Yeah.
The sun is just gonna bake that shit right off, unless you have a garage to keep it in all the time.
Yeah.
Most people here tend to get like white or silver or something like that, because beige. Just because if you get like an actual color, it's just gonna fade and it's gonna look like ass because the sun's just gonna cook it.
Yeah, and if it's black, that car's gonna be so hot your AC will not be able.
Yeah, you're gonna it's gonna be like a fucking easy bake oven in there.
Yeah, you want white or silver. That's really what you want.
But
this is a silver car, and it still cooked.
Cooked the paint off.
It took a long time.
It did, yeah. I mean, it's an old car, and to be fair, we've parked it out in the driveway for years and years.
That car has never been garaged.
Like, we never put it in the garage.
That car's never been garaged.
Well, there was just never room in the garage.
That car is 20 years old. It has never been garaged.
No, I don't think so. No. I don't think so.
And that was Ford stock silver paint. So that's saying something. And that paint is 20 years old, but,
Yeah. John Smith said James Dean's car was called Lil Bastard. Why has no one called a car that? Yeah, see, I don't know. I'm sure, somebody will come around to that. Zach says, no. A Ford fucker is something quite different to what you're thinking. Oh, I'm sure it is. John Smith said, I subscribe to the theory that no car can't be improved by flames up the side.
Haven't seen that paint job in a long time.
We saw one the other day, didn't we? Like on the way to the Chinese buffet, didn't we see a car with flames on the side?
That was
like a classic car.
It's a Model T, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like an old, because there was a car show going on. It was I don't know if it was last weekend or the weekend before, but there was a classic car show going on around here someplace because we kept seeing them on the road. Oracle said, so the tourist will be going to a farm upstate. Yeah, she will eventually. But like I said, I can't complain. I mean, that has easily been the most reliable car that I've ever owned.
Yeah.
And we bought it used. We bought it for, what, $1,400?
Something like that.
$1,400.
Yeah.
We just bought it off.
Put new tires on it.
A random dude.
Changed the ignition. It had a roach infestation. Okay, who's that? Is that Bryce?
Thank you. I think it's a Titanic discussion.
Okay.
Discuss something. I can't see the end part, but thank you very much. That's very generous.
We're too old. Our vision's bad.
Well, no, I can see it. It's just it doesn't have it all the way on there because it's too long. It says, greetings, Jenny and Tom and everyone. Do you think a new car styled like a 50s Bel Air with modern technology would be a hit? thanks and have a good night. Maybe so. I mean, it might stand out enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be a kind of thing. Do you remember, like, back in the day when they did... What was that car that kind of looked like an old 20s gangster car?
About the PT Cruiser.
The PT Cruiser.
Yeah.
And when that came out, like, I don't think it lasted. I think it was just, like, hot for a minute. And then,
they were
like,
around
everybody
for
forgot.
a long time.
But, yeah, they were around for a while because they looked so much different than everything else. And I think there is some value in that because some people would be like, man, I want something that looks distinctive.
That was Chrysler's answer to the VW Beetle.
That
was coming back.
Yeah.
And actually, a lot of people made fun of the PT Cruiser, and people that owned them made fun of PT Cruisers. But they were pretty reliable once they got it right. I think the first year of it had no problems, but then they update. Never buy something in its first production year. There's always bugs in it. Because I knew people that owned them and said, "Yeah, I got one of those fucking PT Cruisers. It's still running." You know, cause they were wanting it to break. But
we never had one. My dad had a Chrysler for a long time though, and he really liked them. So he had a Chrysler. What the fuck was his car? It wasn't a PT Cruiser. It was a Chrysler or something.
The Bel Air. If I'm imagining the car you're talking about from the 50s, it was a fucking big land yacht. We still have something kind of like that. It's called a Lincoln Town Car.
What do those look like nowadays? I haven't seen one in a long time.
They look just like a fucking Crown Victoria, like a Ford Crown.
Oh, okay.
Ford Crown Victorias. That was like your standard cop car, your standard fucking heavy duty taxi. They would uprate them into the Mercury model. I think it was called a Mercury Grand Marquis, and that was with the deluxe interiors and shit.
Right.
Then they would stretch them slightly and make them look more like a limousine in the Lincoln line, the Lincoln Town Car, and it had a bigger motor. I think it was like a 5.4 liter V8. So the Lincoln Town Car was kind of like the modern version of a Bel Air. It didn't look like what you're talking about. It looked more like a Crown Victoria, kind of rounded thing, but it had a real nice interior. It was all leather, fucking huge fucking air conditioner in there, you know, because they were in the South and it would be fucking frosty cold in those things.
Well, that's what you want.
Yeah. And
I want ice on the inside of the shit.
Yeah. And of course, they had fucking ballistic packages. In other words, fucking bullet resistant packages. You can get that. That was for VIP vehicles, for like governors.
In case you were at risk of being assassinated.
Yeah. And that was usually like governors, because governors used those. Like the governor of Louisiana had one. The governor of fucking Mississippi. Crown Victorias were in the fleet, in the state fleet. And that's what they rode around in. But that was kind of like the Lincoln Town Car. The fucking high-end versions of them were kind of like the best American luxury car you could buy. Was that, pretty much, from a major manufacturer. Town car.
My only memory of a Lincoln Town Car situation was when I was a kid, and one year, I mean, my family, we didn't have a lot of money. So it's like whenever we did a vacation, which was rarely, we would just go to Disney World because it was like an hour away. You know what I mean? Still expensive, though, but you know what I mean. So one year, we actually had some money, and we were going to Disney, but my dad actually rented a Lincoln Town Car.
Yeah.
And I think it was white, and the inside was like super plush, and it was like dark blue and everything like that. I sat in the back seat of that car. I was a kid. And I was just like, oh my God, this must be what it's like to be a rich person.
Yeah.
For like the hour drive.
It's like you're in a room. And when they're set
up as really nice.
When they're set up as a limo, they can have a partition between the people in the back and then the people in the front. But even the basic ones, there's enough room in a Lincoln Town Car to fuck. You could fuck in a Lincoln Town Car, even a modern
without breaking stuff.
Yeah.
Which I have some.
The back seat.
I have some experience with that.
They had leather interiors, really good sound systems.
Don't fuck in a tiny Mazda.
They were real plush.
The lesson there.
They had a big fucking engine. Usually it was the engine out of a van, out of like a Ford van or a truck. And they were wide. I think they were wider than a Crown Victoria too. Most of these cars we're talking about for our European listeners would be totally useless in Europe, especially in a city.
Well, they're giant.
They're fucking giant. They make more sense in the United States. You know, we have big, open, sprawling roads.
They're nice for road trips, man. Because you can just
fucking,
it's like, woo, you can
there's free parking everywhere, and there's always empty parking spaces.
Yeah, but in Europe they're useless.
In Europe it'd be useless.
You wouldn't need that.
Yeah, but the sensation is that you're in a home, and you're in a luxury home or a luxury hotel room driving. And it's not about speed or anything. It's just about smooth ride and luxury. The road trip. And how, fucking the sound systems that's in there. And in the deluxe executive versions, they're actually armored. They're bulletproofed in certain areas. Armored glass.
I mean, I
doors.
would think, if I was going to drive cross country, which I would like to do one day because it sounds kind of fun, I would absolutely rent and or buy one of those really luxury, like, Winnebago type situations.
Yeah.
I don't want to drive it, mind, because those things are fucking huge and I wouldn't be able to park it. But, because my spatial awareness is not great. But, I mean, if you're going to go whole hog and, like, drive all the way across the country, like, for weeks and weeks and stuff like that, you need, like, some luxury shit like that.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I had to look into how much a used Lincoln Town Cars cost. I know everything about that system. I know everything about that kind of car.
Yeah, because you can fix it.
I can fix it.
You can fix it. I can fix it.
I can fix that. I know everything about it.
Sorry, you were channeling
Crown Victoria, Lincoln Grand Marquis.
Yeah, Tom can fix all of those American Ford adjacent cars. Yeah, because they're all very similar.
I've rebuilt those motors before. Fucking the transmissions. Fucking I know everything about the fuel injection systems and
that's why we haven't. Maybe that's why we haven't spent much money on my car, because it's like minor shit. Like you can fix it.
Yeah.
Like,
minor shit, you can fix it.
You always just fix it.
But if I could get my hands on a decent fucking, like, say 2003, 2008 Lincoln Town Car with a good interior, because a lot of them are ragged out.
We'll be like the old school retirees.
Yeah,
like,
be like, it's like a fucking riding around in a fucking limo.
I'll do it. I don't care how it looks.
Gotta go to Ford and see if they got a used one they're trying to sell. The thing is, those by now they all have 200,000 miles, no problem.
Of course they do.
They can go 250, 300,000 miles on one engine, but a lot of times it's time for a new engine.
Well, the amazing thing about my Ford Taurus is that even though it's from 2004, it does not yet have 200,000 miles on it.
No, yeah, right.
It only has 160, 170.
Yeah.
Whoever owned it before, it was a work vehicle, so they didn't drive it all that much.
When I was a kid, if you had 100,000 on your car, it was a fucking mess. It was a wreck. It was dying. That's not the way it really is anymore.
No, absolutely not.
A Crown Victoria can get 230,000 miles, no problem, on one engine.
I mean, as long as they're maintained.
Yeah, right. It's always the support stuff. You know what I mean? You're gonna need fucking alternators, fucking fuel, fucking pumps, fucking
just little shit like that.
Yeah, the power steering pumps.
Although I will say, alternators have always been my
alternators and batteries that go out.
Yeah, well, and the thing about it is that battery is easier because you just replace it every couple of years or whatever. But alternator can go out whenever
without warning.
Yeah, I had a Honda Civic, and I was driving to Miami, actually, which from where I lived at that point was a 5-hour drive. And my alternator just decided to go, deep. Yeah. And it just... So I didn't make it to Miami. That's all I'm saying.
When me and Gramthars were kids back in the 80s, you could get Lincoln Town Cars from the 70s. You could get them for $500. That's how little people wanted them. They were like land yachts. They were an eyesore.
They were very large.
They were a fucking eyesore.
They were very large.
They looked terrible. Well, they didn't look terrible. They looked like a giant hearse. They were just they stuck out like a sore thumb. And it was definitely it's an old man car.
Yeah.
And they fucking didn't have. There was no concept of fuel economy at all. It'd take you a gallon just to go and get your milk.
Man, we don't even care.
Gallon of gas, yeah. It's like
honestly, if we got one of those, we should just like purse it out, and then we should just like lean into it, man. We'll just like be in there like smoking big fucking cigars.
Yeah.
Put some gray wigs on.
Shooting corn in the back. Colored lights. We'll have vampire that fucker out.
Put a disco ball in there.
Yeah.
Like I said, maybe we should look into that. Maybe we should look into a car that's large enough for us to shoot porn in the backseat.
That's right.
Then it can serve like dual purpose.
Yeah. We could hire some of our friends to do porn in the back. Too. Have a later, you and a later cutting a scene in the back. Me and Tony in the front filming it. Tony directing.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But
right.
I mean, it could be fun. Mackie Mac VR chat says, "Happy holidays, Tom and Jenny.
Thank you.
Pookie and the 2 fur babies."
I was almost thinking about looking at Cadillacs. Cadillacs used to have fucking very low resale value because it was an old man car and the old man would die and then nobody wanted to buy it. When an old man wants a Cadillac, he wants a new Cadillac. He doesn't want a used one. He doesn't want some dead dude's Cadillac. It'll depress him, But it used to be you could get a Cadillac.
And plus it might be haunted.
Yeah, you can get used to be you can get a Cadillac, a dead dude's Cadillac for fucking cheap. But I don't know what it's like now. I think Cadillacs might have expensive fucking upkeep. I'm not sure. And I don't know about the
I haven't really kept up with like all the newer car shit, so I don't really know. I used to keep
We're at the age where we might even fucking want a luxury car. Pimp that shit out.
I mean,
drive it.
Yeah.
But I want modern. I think I want modern electronics.
Well, like I said, I like all the modern shit on it. And cars nowadays are like much safer than they used to be back in the old days. So I like all the safety shit. I like all the GPS. I like all the backup camera shit. I like all that
Bluetooth stuff.
Yeah, I like all that. So I don't want to go back to the old days where it's like it didn't have jack shit on it.
The only modern car that's impressed me recently for practicality and just how it drove was that Kia Soul, that Korean car.
Yeah. I've never driven one of those.
It's fun to drive. You'd like it. It's kind of like imagine that Fit, but a lot shorter. Yeah, the Fit was kind of long.
Yeah, the Honda Fit, it looks kind of small from the outside, but it was actually much larger inside than it appeared. Yeah.
This one's kind of
like a.
Imagine it shorter and more square, but tall.
Yeah.
Like a van, like a little small van. More money. What do you say? Who is that?
Thank you, Zach.
Zach, okay.
Sent Tom some pics of the Holden Effigy, an Aussie concept car. Would love to know what y'all think. It's so gorgeous.
He sent me pictures of it?
Yeah, he sent you pictures of it, so you better check for that.
All right.
I know, I got so behind, sorry.
All right.
Gen X Jason said, Tom, if you buy a town car, get a 2005 or newer. The older ones have plastic intake that breaks and is a bitch to change.
Okay, that's
good to know, yeah.
So 2005.
Well, yeah, we would definitely, because my car, my Ford Taurus that we have is a 2004, so I definitely want something that's like at least a decade newer than that.
No, that car is fucking sweet, man.
That is nice.
That is fucking sweet.
That is cool looking.
Yeah, me and Jen would love some shit like that.
That is cool looking. That almost looks like a cartoon car.
What was that again?
Which I'm into that.
What do you call that?
It's a, well, wait a minute. Move the shit so I can see. A Holden Effigy.
Yeah, how much do they want?
It's Australian. It's a concept car.
Okay, yeah. So
it's
not
a concept
available.
Car. So that is nice though. I think that's really cool looking. Yeah, it's started to look like the 50s. Yeah, it looks like an old gangster car. That's super cool. Oracle said the PT Cruiser didn't have enough headroom. Yeah, I never sat in one, so they looked like they had enough headroom, but like I said, I guess they didn't, because I don't know, man. Like, cars can be deceptive, because I think a lot of people. I had a Honda Fit and I bought it new in 2013. I sold it later, but and a lot of people is like, oh my god, like how can you even sit in that thing? It's so tiny. But it was actually really big on the inside.
It was very cab forward.
Yeah, it didn't really look like it would be, but it was like really big on the inside.
Oracle says we love our Kia Soul.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. So she's got one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's one of the ones that we were thinking about getting.
Yeah. I drove one of the early ones, and I liked it. It was just a nimble, practical little car. Had good gas mileage on it. It had a good back seat for passengers, and it had a decent trunk. It had like a lift back. Would be a good way, but kind of like a van in the back.
Right.
I liked it.
Danny asked, "What's Tom and Jenny's dream car?" Mine is the '93 Toyota MR2. Oops, where did it go? It moved. Now I can't see it. Maybe he deleted it, but I was reading it and it went away.
Yeah.
So shit.
Who said that?
That was Danny. Yeah.
Yeah, he deletes his comments for some.
Well, I think they just delete automatically. Xanada also says, my 2002 Toyota Tacoma, so you got one that's older than me, okay, has only 186,000 miles, and it's never had a problem.
Yeah.
One thing about Toyotas, they always start even at 30 degrees. Yeah, I've had a couple of Toyotas, and they were also very reliable.
I had when I was a kid, my dad gave me a Toyota Corolla SR5. It was a 1983 or 4, I don't remember. And that was one of the best fucking cars I've ever owned. It was a fastback, too. Fastback, fucking manual transmission, and it was like a little fucking hot rod. I had a good time with it. Never had any problems. Just changed the fucking brake pads. Corolla fucking SR5. Badass car. Great mileage. Even in the 80s, it was getting great mileage.
Yeah, I had a couple of Toyotas. I had a Honda. I had a Nissan. So I've had mostly Japanese cars.
You looked at it, it just looked like a Volkswagen Rabbit or something. But it had like a little sporty feel to it. You know, you could fucking rap the shit out of that little engine. It was light. Good stereo for the time.
Mackie Mac also said, the one who said Happy Holidays, and said Happy Holidays to Pookie and the other two cats. The other two kitties' names are Bambi and Beijing.
Beijing, yeah.
Bambi is our newest acquisition. Yeah. We just got her a few months ago. She's
starting to settle in.
She's kind of starting to settle in.
Yeah.
She's also kind of crazy. But all of our cats are weird, but like in different ways.
Yeah.
When we got her, her name was Dakota. That's what they named her at the shelter. But we called her Bambi because she looks like a baby deer, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's mental. But I love her. She's awesome. But yeah, he also said, I want to see a goth-styled Christmas decor. You know what? We haven't. The tree is up.
It's called Krampus.
Yeah. The tree is up.
Yeah.
But that's about it. We haven't even put out.
I didn't even put out my projector.
We have. This is how sad we are. We've only put up. We only have like the Christmas projectors. So we have a snow. Is it snowflakes?
Yeah, snowflakes.
And I think Santa faces, right?
Yeah, Santa faces.
Santa faces. So we have like two of the because we like the laziest.
Yeah, we're lazy.
But you know, even for like the Halloween decor, one of these days I'd like to get like a whole like fucking Halloween thing going out there because Halloween's that's my holiday. I like Christmas too, but you know what I mean. But even for Halloween, we only have like the projectors. We got bats and ghosts, I think. But yeah, for Christmas. Oh no, wait a minute. Maybe it's not Santa faces. Isn't it Is it peppermint things?
I don't remember. It's been a long time.
I can't remember either.
I don't care.
But we haven't even put those out. But we do have the tree up though. But it's just like regular looking. It's just regular looking. We had to get a bigger tree when we moved here because the ceiling.
No, you get a smaller tree
downstairs, or a smaller tree rather, because the ceiling is like, I don't know, the way the ceiling was.
It's not as big as the other ceiling.
It's not as big as the other ceiling, so we had to get like a smaller one. It wasn't. Yeah. The tree we had before was too tall. You know what I mean? So yeah. Yeah. All right. So everybody's talking about. Camp guy said, "This is so funny. I think I pitched a woo." Oh my god,
What's that mean?
I haven't heard that phrase in a long. That's like a very very old timey phrase for sex.
Okay.
Pitched a woo in the backseat of a 78, 79, or 1980 Oldsmobile Delta 88 back in the day. Oh my god, my brother had an Oldsmobile Delta 88. It was white. I remember that. We went to so many shows in that fucking car. That was back in the That must have been back in the 80s.
Oldsmobile's gone now, isn't it?
Wait, did they still have Oldsmobile?
I think it's gone.
I don't remember.
A lot of the American companies are gone. Oldsmobile, I don't think, could keep up with anything. They couldn't keep up with any of the trends.
I mean, it's right there in the name.
Yeah,
Oldsmobile.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they had a problem keeping up with Chrysler, you know.
Which is also kind of an old place.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Like I said, my dad had Chryslers for a long time.
Yeah, Chryslers are... Well, they're not what they used to be.
Well, no. But, like I said, this is back in, like, the 90s or something.
Yeah.
But I remember in the 80s, my brother had an Oldsmobile Delta.
I'm not sure
88.
Chrysler's around anymore.
Yeah, I'm not real sure. Like I said, I haven't kept up.
Oldsmobile, Chrysler, and Buick. Those were the ones that were always kind of lagging. Especially in the 80s.
Well, like I said, I feel like most people have the perception that those are like old people cars.
Yeah.
And I guess that's true because, you know, it's not like young people are like clamoring to buy those.
No. They couldn't come up with any designs that attract young people.
Santa said my brother has an old 70s Volkswagen Rabbit. I loved that car.
Yeah, they're well made. Simple.
I kind of feel like I do like all the bells and whistles, like all the technological shit they have on cars nowadays, but there is something to be said for stuff that doesn't have a lot of things on it.
Yeah.
Because it's fewer things to break.
Yeah.
Not necessarily true with cars, but I think that's kind of true of like, but it's particularly like a lot of appliances and stuff like that. Because you know how they have the new refrigerators and shit like that. That it's like, oh, it has AI and it'll tell you when you're out of stuff, like without even opening the door, and like that you have to. It's like, look, I don't need that. I can just open the door and see that we're out of milk or whatever, and go to the store. I don't really need. To me, that's just one more thing to break.
The rabbit was the updated version of the Beetle. It had an engine in the front instead of the back. You know what I mean? I don't think it was front wheel drive. I think it was rear wheel drive, if I remember, which made everything a lot more simple. It had actual air conditioning in it, and actual fucking because a lot of stuff in the Volkswagen Bug. I had a Volkswagen Bug when I was in Brazil, and it was new, not an old one, a new one. They still make them in South America, or at least they did when I was a kid. And a lot of the shit in there in a Volkswagen Bug was real half-ass. The drivetrain and the body were solid. The motor was fucking rock solid. It didn't produce any power, so it would never really wear itself out. It would just run forever. As long as there was some kind of oil in it, you were good to go. And the one I had was adapted for alcohol burning. Because in Brazil, we use something called fucking álcool, which is fucking sugarcane alcohol. And it would just put around. It didn't, it didn't have any needs. But when it came to heat was real spotty. There was no air conditioning at all. I think some of the models had them, but it probably didn't work well. And it was probably a separate system. It was probably something that required gas or electric to run the air conditioning. I think in the Volkswagen Beetle, if I remember correctly, that air conditioning was not a practical option. When the Rabbit came out, it kind of was like, that was more of a conventional modern car. Liquid cooling instead of air cooling. The engine was in the front. I think it was a live axle in the back. Real AC, real heater. Better interior, sound system, power. They didn't have power steering. They had regular fucking mechanical steering. I think most of them, but they were rock solid. There was really nothing that could break in a Volkswagen Rabbit. They were a move up from a Bug. They had those in Brazil also. That was like the second most popular car. First most popular car when I was there was a Volkswagen Bug. They called it a Fusca, which is the Portuguese slang word for bug, or roach. Roach, Fusca.
They look more. I always pictured them more like a ladybug than a roach.
Yeah, well, Brazilians just call it a Fusca, but it's bug. But they're usually referring to a roach.
Yeah. Oracle said, we had a cat named Klaus by the shelter because he was found in an alley during Christmas. We called him D'Artagnan. Or Dart for short. Yeah, she doesn't. I don't know why they named her Dakota specifically. That was her name when she came from the shelter, and then she was transported to PetSmart, where we found her actually on the day that she came to PetSmart. We went in there and happened to look at the cats, and we were looking for another cat, and she was a Manx, and we were like, oh my goodness, and she looked really cute. So we adopted her. Yeah. But so we called her Dakota for a while. Yeah. But then I kept noticing her movements and the way, because she's also a Manx, her tail is longer than Pookie's. Yeah. Like, Pookie's is just like about as long as your thumb. But Dakota's / Bambi's is about that long. Yeah. And so from the back, like her coloring and stuff, she kind of looks like, it looks like a deer tail. Like, it looked like a white-tailed deer. And also she's kind of like floppy. Yeah. Like the way Bambi was when he was first born. Like, you know what I mean? Like with the long legs and everything. So I just started calling her Bambi. Or Bam Bam.
Xanada said that the Golf replaced the Rabbit. Yeah, but I also think that the Rabbit and the Golf used a lot of the same components. I think if I remember correctly, it's been a long time since I've seen those cars. I think the Golf was a Rabbit, an improved Rabbit.
Well, and I thought the Golf was what they called like the Rabbit in Europe.
It might have been.
I thought.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that though.
Yeah, they called them the Golf in Brazil. But we called it a Rabbit.
Because a lot of people had VW Golfs in Europe when I was there.
I think he might be onto something, though. I think the original was the Rabbit, and I think it got upgraded into the Golf. but I think maybe the Golf might have had some differences, but I'm not sure. They were good cars. The Toyota Corolla SR5 was the Japanese version of the Volkswagen Golf. That's what they were trying to put a spin on, and Toyota did it a lot better, faster, more high tech for the time. Better transmission, better reliability, better AC, better fucking heat, climate control on the inside. They had fastbacks and hatchbacks and different versions of them. I like that old fucking Corolla. They never had a problem with it. They just phased it out because they wanted something more expensive. The Corollas ended up being a high-end car. You couldn't get them cheap. You could get them cheap when I was a kid, though, in the mid-'80s. It was just like an economy car.
Camp Guy said, my old man always wanted a Cadillac, don't they all? Yeah. He ended up getting a Lincoln Town Car when he was about 68 or 70 years old. Then he died about 5 or 6 years later from metastatic gastric cancer.
Yeah.
We finally ended up selling that car for about $2,400.
Yeah.
Whoever bought it got a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I remember that was...
Well, that's kind of why... Like,
when I was in high school, that's how you got them.
Right. You would kind of, like, look at the obituary.
Yeah. You look at the... You'd find some old man's fucking Cadillac or Lincoln Town Car for sale, and you could get it for a song. But the thing is that you're a teenage kid trying to buy this fucking thing. Old people wouldn't buy them because they wanted a new one.
Yeah.
And fucking working people didn't want that. They didn't want to commute in that piece of shit. They're fucking too huge, man, the amount of money. So then you're a teenager with this old man's fucking land yacht. Yeah. All right? And you can barely afford to keep gas in it.
But, like I said, on the plus side, you could fuck in it.
You could fuck in it. It was a mobile hotel.
Sure.
Bro. You could take it to the drive-in, and you and your girl be in there bouncing that thing up and down on the fucking back.
You could park behind a church or out in a park or something like that.
But heaven forbid anything went wrong with it because you couldn't afford to fix it.
Yeah, that was the downside.
Yeah.
That was the downside.
Let's go to the restroom.
Yeah, Oldsmobile is done, says Titanic Discussions. Okay. Also, Danny says Chrysler is around, Plymouth isn't.
Plymouth, yeah, I always forget about Plymouth.
And Pontiac is also gone.
Yeah, Plymouth and Pontiac. I always forget about Plymouth. That's like the fucking redheaded stepchild of redheaded stepchildren.
The only reason I know about Plymouth is because of Christine.
Yeah, Plymouth.
Because she was a Plymouth. Was she not? Yeah, I thought she was. That's really... I haven't seen them in a very long time. Mackie Mac said, Tom and Jenny should do a photo shoot gothic version of St. Nick and Mrs. Claus. Maybe we should. I don't have any Christmas outfits, though, unfortunately. I don't know. Maybe I could put something together. We never do... Like, we always mean to do all this stuff around Christmas time, and we just, like, we never do. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's just because we're lazy, or we don't have the shit, or I don't know what it is. Dana said Toyota heaters work great. My old Toyota still has great heat. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't know about that because it's like I've never turned the heater on in my car ever. I've never needed to. You know? Even a couple times, like, we've been out and it's been kind of cold at night. Times like, I'm going to put the heat on. I'm like, no, you are not going to put the fucking heat on. I don't like the heat on. I don't like the heat on in the house. I would rather be cold with a fucking blanket. I don't like the heat on. It's fucking Florida. We don't need to turn the fucking heat on. It's not that cold. Put a blanket on and quit crying. Yeah. Dana also said I prefer Lincoln over Cadillac, personally. Yeah, I don't really have enough. I mean, when I think about Cadillac, I always just think about my grandpa. Because my grandpa, who died a long time ago, he was a hoarder. And one of the things he hoarded was cars and boats. So he had a shit ton of Cadillacs, like, parked in the backyard of his house in Daytona Beach. South Daytona, actually, it was. But he just loved Cadillacs, and he had a bunch of them. I learned to drive in one of them, actually. It was fucking gigantic. Like I said, it was just like, it's like a big fucking boat. But, man, when I was a kid, I didn't really think about it when I was a kid. Because I was a kid, you know what I mean? But... we spent a lot of time at his house. We even lived there a few times, you know, when money was tight or whatever. And my grandfather, after my grandmother divorced him in sometime in the 70s, I want to say, was mid to late 70s or the 80s maybe. Because before that, like, the house had been, because it was a nice house. It was big. It was like 2-story and all this other stuff. And she kept that shit like immaculate. But as soon as she left, yeah, it all went to shit. And there was basically like one path through the downstairs. And there was just crap on all the sides of it. You know what I mean? And his backyard was kind of the same. Like, he loved boats. He was like real into cameras, jewelry, guns, like all that kind of stuff. So his whole house was just like full of stuff like that. Like, he would go to estate sales and buy all of that stuff. So I'm kind of fascinated. I will sit there and watch hours and hours of that show, Hoarders, because I can relate. My grandfather was just like that. And especially like a lot of the male hoarders. I like that the newer episodes or the newer seasons of Hoarders, I've noticed, they have started putting more men on there, because as far as I know, hoarding is actually more common in men. But for a long time, the Hoarders show, it seemed like it was all women. And I felt like maybe that was either because women were more willing to go on the show, like dudes were too embarrassed or something like that. But now it's kind of like 50-50. And every time you see the dudes on Hoarders, they always say they were exactly the same as my grandfather was. It's like they pick up shit like from dumpsters and like on the side of the... I can use this. They never do, though. They see value in everything. They see use in everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna, pick up this thing like from the side of the road and I'm gonna fix it. Yeah. And I'm gonna sell it. And so, but they never do.
You know what's funny? I'm talking about Plymouth. I always try to remember Plymouth. I was thinking, man, there was another car maker. I forgot what his name was, but it's gone now. But the shit used to be big, but it's gone. I can't remember the name. Plymouth.
Yeah.
Like the Plymouth Fury.
Yeah, it was. That's what the car was. That was Christine.
Right.
Plymouth Fury. That's right. I knew it was a Plymouth.
And what's weird about that shit is that was a very noble brand back in its day. They built some fucking really cool fucking cars in the 40s and 50s. You know, I think they had some in the 30s too, 50s and 60s. And it just kind of faded away as a fucking real mundane fart fucking car. I mean, they were very mundane when they died. And it made me think that, they got dead mall videos. We got to do dead car videos. We do a whole video about how cool that car brand was. And then what it ended up as over time. Because, like...
Well, nothing is like eternally
Nothing's
cool.
eternal, yeah.
No.
And
I can't think of a single
Plymouth,
thing.
By the time the 80s rolled around, Plymouth was making some of the fucking most boring fucking square boxy cars that you could imagine. And not good quality. But in the 50s, man, during their heyday, it was fucking chrome, beautiful colors, and huge. And it's like something down... Somebody in the 50s would fucking sell their left nut for.
Well, I mean, when I saw the movie of Christine in 1983, that Plymouth Fury in that movie is fucking awesome looking. Yeah. And I would happily own that car.
Yeah, and I don't even think that was one of their better ones. It was just like a good one.
Yeah. I mean, the one they had for the movie was fucking cool looking, is what I'm saying. I don't know if I wouldn't have it because it would be too expensive to like maintain it, but it's fucking cool looking.
I think Plymouth had ones that they considered to be even better than the Fury for its day,
And I thought I remember reading that the cars they used in the movie weren't actually Furies, but I could be wrong about that because they had more than one, obviously, because they had to trash a bunch of them. Xander said, tell Tom I want to send you guys the original Cocaine Cowboys movie made by Billy Corben.
Okay.
But it's not in Blu-ray. He's only seen the Netflix series. The original movie is a lot better.
You can send me on DVD?
Yeah, we can play DVDs too.
If it's not available on Blu-ray, send it on DVD, yeah.
Yeah, it said it's about the 1980s Miami drug war. Yeah, we loved that series, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll do a show on it.
Yeah. Yeah, we totally should.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think we're going to do, for the movie review that we do on Monday, I think we're going to do The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot.
Okay.
Because somebody asked us about it, and Sam Elliott...
I heard of it, yeah.
And it's on Tubi for free. I checked. So it's like, I've been wanting to see that anyway.
Guess what, people?
I knew you were going to bring this up at some point.
You know just what I'm talking about.
I know exactly. See, I can read your mind.
She's reading my mind already. Beverly Hills Cop 4. The trailer got dropped. It's coming out on fucking Netflix.
Next summer.
Mm-hmm. And it looks good. The trailer looks very good. It's got the all original cast. It's got Taggart. It's got Rosewood in it. It's got the old police chief.
You know what's crazy? I thought John Ashton was dead.
They're in there.
I just did a movie review a couple weeks ago about a movie that he was in back in 2016, 2017 called Uncle John.
Yeah.
And I thought that he had died not long after making that, but obviously he's still alive.
Surge is in it.
Yeah, it looks like Bronson Pinchot was in there.
Yeah, Surge is in it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and he's back in it. What I like about it is that it looks like it has an edge. It looks like a modern movie.
It does look fun.
And it looks fun. And fucking Murphy, man, that bitch doesn't age much, does he?
I know. I was like reading an article about that earlier because a lot of people are talking about the trailer, and it's like, are they using de-aging on him or something? It's like he doesn't look any different than he did in the fucking 80s. Like he looks pretty much.
Well, he's got a little more mass to him. He's thicker.
Yeah, he's thicker, but it's like other than that, he doesn't look like an old man, and he's what 62, 63?
He's older than me by far.
He's in his 60s.
Yeah, he's probably on HRT and just keeping himself.
He looks great.
Yeah. Just keeping himself,
I mean, he looks very young still.
Yeah, and he looks energetic, man. Like high testosterone. That's good.
Yeah, he might be on a bunch of stuff. Well, I mean, he's got the money.
He's probably on test.
You know what I mean?
And just going to the gym. I love Axel Foley. I love that character. I even had a soft spot for fucking part 3.
A lot of people hate part 3.
Yeah, though. I kind of have a soft spot. There's certain things about part 3 that I liked. Execution of part 3 was very blocky. It was kind of had a cheap feeling to it.
It was a cash grab for sure.
Yeah, like a cash grab. But this one, I got a fucking feeling that this is going to wash away that damn bad taste that part 3 left in a lot of people's mouth. I think this is going to be good. If it's fucking as good as it, if it's as good as fucking Dolomite. Yeah, Dolomite was fucking
That's
great.
kind of what I was thinking. I was like, man, if this is as good as Dolomite, then that's
got Dolomite on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It's classic.
Gonna say I didn't love the Coming to America sequel.
It was okay.
It was okay. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
It was okay.
It could have been better, though. Yeah. But Dolomite, I fucking loved. We've seen that like 2 or 3 times at this point.
Yeah, Dolomite, that's
I loved that.
Classic flick.
So if it's as good as that, then I'll be happy.
I'm just kind of pissed off that they're not having a theatrical release. I'd go to the theater to see that. I want to see that in the theater.
I know, they really should have. I mean, they could do it. I don't know. Netflix doesn't usually do that, though, do they? They don't do like some of the other streaming services will do like a simultaneous.
Yeah.
You know, or like what they'll do a lot of times is it'll be in the theater for a couple weeks and then like the streaming service will get it. You know what I mean?
They even got the fucking theme.
Axel F.
They got the
Harold Faltermeyer. That's what his name is.
I think it's gonna be
good.
good.
I pull that out of my ass.
I'm hoping.
It looks good. The trailer looks good.
The trailer looks good.
The trailer looks good.
I'm hoping.
I'm just kind of hoping it won't be good.
I think Eddie Murphy produced it. He co-produces it. Eddie's made a strong comeback with Dolomite, and it was pretty good. The problem with Coming to America was at 3. Coming to America 2. Was it 2 or 3?
Yeah, was it 2? Now I can't remember.
I think it was 2. I think it's 2.
Yeah.
It was PG.
Yeah, I didn't love
was
that.
R.
Yeah, they should have pushed it harder.
Right.
It would have been better.
So, but really, since Eddie made his comeback, I've been satisfied, and I've been an Eddie Murphy fan since I was a little kid. All right.
I mean, he's a funny motherfucker.
Since when I was a little kid, and I'm not supposed to be seeing him on fucking Saturday Night Live. I'm too young. You know what I mean? And then 48 Hours 1 and 2. Then Beverly Hills Cop, he fucking blew it out of the water in 1 and 2. 2, I think Beverly Hills Cop 2 is a masterpiece. I like both those.
Yeah, a lot of people like the first 2.
Yeah.
But like I said, most people really do not like the third one.
Yeah.
Which I don't even remember that much about, to be honest with you.
And those movies kind of spoke to me because, I did time in Detroit, and that's where Axel was from, like in the Michigan area, me and fucking Gramthars. So I kind of knew the culture where they're trying to come from with that. And then they're showing the fish out of the water element where he's from a place like Detroit hanging out in Beverly Hills is fucking...
Which that still plays. I mean, even in the modern era, you can still do something with that.
Huge difference.
Because it hasn't changed that much since the 80s, I feel like.
Yeah, but me and Mike Kowalski, a friend of mine, and fucking Steve Rouse and shit. Fucking Axel Foley was a hero of ours, man. That was a fucking great character. Who's a cop? He's a good dude. He started off as a criminal, but he changed his ways and he did his thing, and he's funny, and he's doing shit that would never happen in real life.
But that's okay. It's a movie.
It's just the movie, It was an 80s action flick.
It's just fun.
Yeah, 80s fun action flick. He's fucking 24 and he's kind of fucking around with senior cops in their 50s. They would have set his ass right, okay? But it was just good. It was good. I think it was it was kind of a buddy flick. It was up there with fucking Lethal Weapon 1 and 2. And I like the Lethal Weapon series too.
Yeah. Well, the first two at least.
Yeah, 1 and 2 was the best one.
The other ones got kind of...
It started going on a little long.
Well, that happens with pretty much every movie.
But series. I have all the Lethal Weapons movies. I bought them all in a package. The storytelling is pretty good because it's buddy stories. It's a story about it's male friendship.
Yeah,
stories,
and those are always fun. Everybody likes them.
Yeah, and even fucking the Joe Pesci's gangster character was kind of ended up accepted as one of the guys with these cops. He wasn't a cop, but they were friends with him. So it was just a feel good story arc. They're buddy movies.
Yeah,
which you don't see anymore. But I think.
I think they still make them. It's just that there's so many. Yeah, there's so many movies nowadays. It's hard to. They get lost in the shuffle.
Closest thing to buddy movies nowadays would probably be something from Fast and Furious series.
Yeah.
Like something in Hobbs was pretty good. Wasn't it that movie? Saw that one in the theater.
I would say Calvin and Hobbes.
No,
that's the.
Yeah, that was kind of like a buddy movie.
Yeah, what are their names? Something in Hobbs.
Yeah.
Shit, man. We saw that in the theater, didn't we?
Yeah, I liked it.
I did too, but I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember anything
about
it, but I remember it was fun at the time.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, shit, now I can't
I don't
remember.
know if those movies...
I think that might have been the only Fast and Furious movie. I think I saw the first one, but I don't remember, because where I used to work at a newspaper in Daytona, and there was a guy that worked there, and he loved movies, and he would kind of he pirated every movie ever.
Yeah.
And he would loan them to me. He's like, hey, you want to see this? And I'm just like, sure, why not? So he would just loan me this fucking random ass blank CD that had a movie on it. So a lot of times I'd put them on. Now sometimes I wouldn't sit and watch them. I'd be just doing laundry or doing housework or something like that while it was on. So I didn't sit and watch it. But so I've seen a lot of movies that I maybe wouldn't have watched otherwise, because that's not my genre. You know what I mean? He was real into big budget action kind of movies. So I saw a lot of those, even though, because I was like, hey, it's free,
Eddie Murphy's problem was when he started to have his own production in his own studios, and he tried to go family friendly. So he's basically trying to fill Bill Cosby's fucking shoes.
Hobbs and Shaw, that was the name of that movie.
Hobbs and Shaw. Well,
I knew one of y'all would remember.
I actually want to buy.
I was like, Hobbs, all I could think of was Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah, I actually want to buy Hobbs and Shaw.
The fucking comic strip.
I liked it.
It was pretty. I remember liking it. I don't remember anything about it, but I remember it being fun.
What went wrong with Eddie Murphy is that he tried to go mainstream. He tried to go family friendly.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
His best movies were 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop, Trading Places was great. I fucking trying to find it.
I like Trading
Can't
Places.
find a Blu-ray version of it.
I like Trading Places.
Maybe they have it now, but it was a few years back I was looking for it. I want to see Trading Places again. I'm a big fan of The Golden Child. I couldn't find it.
I kind of have a soft spot for that too. I don't like it as much as I liked it back in the 80s when I first saw it. Because when we rewatched it again a couple years ago, I was like, I don't like that as much as I used to.
You forgot how much of a B movie that was.
Yeah, I did.
That's what it is. Those were B movies.
But I still have a soft spot for it.
They were very good.
It's so weird.
They're weird.
What a weird concept.
Yeah. I got the knife.
I love how ballsy that concept was. I was no one would do that nowadays because it's just bizarre.
Hit the little kid and fucking, you must get the Ashanti dagger. They're fighting the devil and shit.
It is super fun.
Through this little Buddha. Yeah.
I saw that movie a million times on cable back in the old days.
But the thing is I don't think there was a Blu-ray release. I have a DVD release. I think. I gotta go back and look.
Yeah, I don't know if they've put it on.
I remember thinking that it needed to be remastered, and it needed to be like fucking remastered as a Blu-ray release. Those were fucking B movies. Beverly Hills Cop was a B movie.
Yeah.
When you see it, it's rough. It didn't matter though. That fucking movie has soul.
And it was still fucking funny. It's hilarious. And it still holds up.
It still holds up. It started to go lame. His problems, and here's another one that I fucking liked. Vampire in Brooklyn. And I think that was his last good movie from that era.
And a lot of people don't like that movie. A lot of people don't like it. I like it, though. I still have a soft spot for Vampire in Brooklyn. I thought it was
a strong vampire movie. Strong vampire movie.
I can see why people don't like it, but I kind of like it.
He's doing a play on Blackula.
Yeah.
And fucking, I liked it. But then he started to go into fucking Nutty Professor type shit. And what was the name? What was the...
Well, he did Haunted Mansion, Dr. Dolittle. Yeah, and he started doing stuff like, it's like, I'm going to be in a fat suit. I'm going to do like Christmas with the Cranks or whatever. Was that Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, I don't know.
So he's doing some stuff. It was almost like proto. Who's that motherfucker that does all those movies nowadays, like the Medea movies?
Medea, yeah. Which some of those are good.
Like, what's that dude's name?
I forgot his name, but I like some of the Medea movies.
I'll think of it in a second. But like that, it was almost like proto that dude. Yeah, so, God, what's his name? It's right on the tip of my tongue. Well,
actually, that guy was ripping off Eddie Murphy.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Eddie Murphy was like a proto, that guy. So I don't love that. Anytime you're kind of gonna... If your whole thing is edgy comedy...
It better stay on there.
Then you got to stay on top of your edge. If you're going to go into family-friendly stuff...
It didn't work for him.
I don't love it. Well, I mean, I don't love family-friendly. Like, look, I love animated movies as much as the next person. But I don't like anything that's just kind of, like, very specifically geared toward... We're going to make something, like, for kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
Unless it's got some kind of creativity or some kind of edge to it.
Murphy's thing. I was a kid. I was there when it was happening. His thing is that it was funny and edgy.
Tyler Perry, thank you.
Tyler Perry, yeah. He's an Eddie Murphy ripoff, even though I respect his work. He's good.
Tom loved that Medea funeral movie that we went to the theater.
I saw it in the theater. I was laughing through the whole fucking
I was like, I hated it, kind of. Well, I didn't hate it, but I was like, man, this is dumb as shit. But I was just like,
lowbrow.
I was just like, yeah, Tom's gonna love this though. I knew you were gonna love it when I was watching it. I said, Tom's gonna love this shit.
When Murphy came back with Dolomite, I knew he was back.
God damn, that movie was so good.
It's like, okay,
if you haven't seen Dolomite Is My Name,
yeah,
please see that.
Must
it's
see
so
that
so good.
And it's a true story. It's a true story.
It's like, well, it kind of reminded me, like the vibe of it was like Ed Wood.
Yeah, it's like Ed Wood.
Because it was about Rudy Ray Moore, who made terrible movies.
But they were fun.
But they were still funny and like unintentionally a lot of times. But the spirit behind it, it's like, look, we are not talented at all, but
I'm going to disagree. They were talented.
Well, no, they were. But I'm just saying that, like, they didn't have, they didn't have a lot of the talent that maybe bigger, you know what I mean? But it's like, but they
didn't have the money to make shit.
Right, and they didn't have the money or anything like that, but they just, like, they really wanted to make the movies, man, and they just, like, it was, like, really inspirational.
Yeah. Right. Well, the reason why Murphy was such an in for that is because he knew more. He was friends with him. And really what Eddie Murphy was doing in his early film career that made him famous was the same thing that Rudy Ray Moore was doing. It's just that he had more money than Rudy Ray.
And he was and arguably more talented than Rudy Ray Moore.
I ain't gonna fuck with Rudy Ray like that. Rudy Ray was talented within the framework of his time and what he had.
Like in an Ed Wood type of situation.
Yeah, right.
Which Ed Wood was objectively a terrible filmmaker. However,
it was entertaining.
His movies are still entertaining, so I would argue
that he might be talented.
That he's kind of talented, just unintentionally.
Yeah.
Which that works too. You know what
Rudy Ray was making black product.
Yeah.
He was making stuff that black people wanted to see, and it worked. They came and saw it, and it was underground. He would have a release at the theater. You had to buy tickets at the.
I love P.D. Wheatstraw.
Yeah,
the Devil's Son-in-law.
The Devil's Son-in-law.
It's Devil's Son-in-law, right?
I think it's Devil's Son-in-law. Yeah.
Which I think is on Tubi, or it was a couple months ago.
Yeah,
it's super fun.
He does all kinds of shit. Sometimes he's a secret agent pimp.
Mm-hmm.
That's another. He's all kinds of shit. It's funny, man.
And he knows kung fu, kind of.
Knows kung fu, kind of. Fakes it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like Grindhouse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just making a movie. So, yeah, I thought it was good.
But see, that's what's cool about that kind of shit.
Dolomite in My Name is a movie with Eddie Murphy telling the story of Rudy Ray Moore.
Right.
And
it's like I said, it's super inspirational. It's a must-see. Yeah, because like here are people that had no money.
It's like watching Ed Wood.
Yeah, it's like people that had no money and arguably little talent, but they were, god damn it, they were gonna make a fucking movie.
Yeah.
And they were all in.
Yeah. Wesley Snipes is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Which is Snipes is another one that fucking was very talented. And he got in trouble with the IRS and fucking kind of, you didn't see him much, but he's back.
Do you know what movie you need to see that you probably haven't?
Yeah.
Is Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar.
I don't know that
which
one.
has Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze.
Okay.
And who else was in that? John Leguizamo.
Okay, yeah.
As drag queens.
Yeah, right.
It is wildly entertaining. Okay. Not quite as good as Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Yeah.
Which is a similar theme. But still very entertaining. You might like it, actually.
My favorite Wesley Snipes movie is Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone. It's a futuristic movie. It's a documentary. It's all true. It's a fucking great movie. If you guys haven't seen it, Sandra Bullock's in it, and it's kind of like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Sandra Bullock always kind of pissed me off for some reason. I'm not really sure.
I'm
not really sure. I know a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There was just something about her that always rubbed me the wrong way, and I can't really put my finger on what it is.
She was just some cute, upbeat chick.
I don't know. There's something about her that always like really annoyed me, and I don't know what it is. Which kind of bothers me, but I can't, like I said, I can't put my finger on it. I know, a lot of people don't, and it's like, so, I don't know.
She was just kind of a generic...
Something that's wrong with me, I guess.
Kind of like a generic American chick.
But it's like something about her just always like rubbed me the wrong way. Like whenever I would see her in a movie, I'm like, man, fuck off.
No, I like Sandra Bullock.
You know what I mean?
She's kind of just a good girl.
Maybe that's why I didn't like her.
Yeah.
Oracle said Stockard Channing is in Tu Wong Fu too. That's right, I forgot about that. Good old Rizzo. I love Stockard Channing. She's awesome. Wild and Wonderful Whitney said, I love that movie. Not sure which one we're talking about. But yeah, maybe it's Tu Wong Fu. But yeah, I kind of feel... I've been wanting to like make Tom watch that. I don't actually think he's seen Priscilla, Queen of the Desert either, even though that's one of my favorite movies ever. But, I mean, you know, the two are... They're not the same, but they're kind of similar, like the theme of them. So, I should show him those. We'll do like a drag queen... We'll do a drag queen double feature one of these days. And it'll be Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and Tu Wong Fu. That'll be, like, really cool. I think. Yeah, Ian English fucking hate Demolition Man is awesome. 3 seashells. Yeah, Ian English said, I'm with you, Jenny. She just seems too preppy. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe she just seemed, like, too normy for me. Okay. I think what it is... Maybe this is what it is. I think that the way that she was marketed, and I don't know if this was entirely her fault, probably not, but the way she's marketed is just kind of like she's this obviously beautiful, hot chick, but every movie that she was in, there was always something quote unquote like wrong with her. Like she was always, oh, she's super clumsy, or she's like, they always kind of like have to give like the hot girl like some kind of like quirk. And she seems like the embodiment of that really annoying Hollywood trope. You know what I mean? Where it's like, here's this super hot girl, obviously, and we're going to put her in this movie, but we have to give her this, like, funny, like, shortfall. Usually, with Sandra Bullock, it would usually be like she was super clumsy or super awkward or something like that.
She was kind of like a character actress, actually.
Yeah, and it's like, and clearly she's probably not like that in real life, and it's like, I don't know why. That just kind of got on my nerves. Like the way that, so I don't know if it's so much her that's pissing me off or the way that she's portrayed that was pissing me off.
Probably the writing.
I think that's what it's, like I said, so I'm not blaming her. I'm sure that wasn't like her fault entirely, because that's what she got cast into.
Yeah, I also never really saw her as hot. I saw her as cute.
Yeah, she's not. Yeah, because there's kind of a.
Yeah, she wasn't really
hot, cute, sexy. Those are different terms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's cute and funny.
Yeah.
She's pretty.
Although I never found her particularly funny though either.
No, she had a lot of good lines in Demolition Man. You know, come
Yeah.
on, let's go blow this guy. He goes, no, blow this guy away. Remember that? Don't you remember that?
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
She
in a
just
while,
said all kind. Yeah, she said a lot of shit. It was fucking funny. She was a student of '80s culture.
Right.
Remember that? And she misunderstood a lot of the culture of the time, and she tried to use swear words and expressions that she heard from history lessons, I think.
Yeah.
Because the original material wasn't available in her time.
Right.
So when they were going to catch the bad guy, come on, let's go blow this guy, and fucking.
Right. So it's kind of that is very 80s. That is very 80s style humor.
It's let's blow this guy away.
Where it's just kind of like where a lot of the humor comes from, like misunderstanding or like somebody being a dummy.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So Ian England agrees with me, so I'm glad I'm not the only person. Yeah. Said she was just seemed too preppy, and said she's pretty, but I've always found her insufferable. Yeah, me too. And I'm like I said, it's no ding on her. I'm sure she's a lovely person, but it's just kind of like I don't know, something about her's always pissed me off.
The way she was cast.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah. Because she always did kind of get cast in those kind of roles.
But those were roles of the time.
Yeah.
Of the times there was that type, that character type.
Which maybe I just don't like that character type.
Yeah.
So the fact that she was always kind of cast in those roles,
she's always cast as like the chick that fucking wasn't prepared for this shit. She's thrust into this situation and she's just trying to, you know what I mean?
And she's just trying to accomplish. She's like, oh my god, I'm so retarded. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was just kind of, I don't know.
That trope didn't last long. That was 90s.
Yeah, that was a very 90s. Years, I mean, there was a lot of that going on in the 80s too, but I kind of feel like I don't know. So I just didn't really like that trope, I guess. So maybe that's what it was. Because I associate her with that trope, and I don't like that trope. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I don't think she was anything like that. She was going out with Jesse James.
No, probably not.
She was dating Jesse James.
Yeah, she's probably a lot cooler in person.
Hang out with bikers and shit.
But I don't know. I don't know her in person.
Although he dumped her. He said she was insufferable. He got sick of her.
Oh, well, so maybe I'm right about it. Maybe she is annoying in real life. I don't really know. I don't know her. I can't say that.
I remember it's been a long time since I've thought about that or I had to go back and investigate. I remember when it went down. I think other women may have been involved. I think Jesse James dumped her for somebody else.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah.
What would you consider insufferable in a woman, Tom?
Oh, fucking! Well, there's a lot of shit that's insufferable.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm curious about. It's like, just out of curiosity.
I don't know.
Just out of curiosity.
I don't know. I can't even fucking think of it. You know it when you see it.
It's like pornography.
Yeah, you know when you see it.
Yeah, Tammy said she was actually married to Jesse James, and he cheated on her.
Yeah, so I was kind of right.
Keep it classy, Jesse.
Yeah.
But yeah.
She wasn't all that, evidently.
Or he was just a dick.
Yeah, he was a dick too. He was a dick.
Yeah.
That dude was a dick.
I mean, I've heard that he was a dick. I don't know him in real life either, but I'm just saying he always seemed kind of like a dick, to be honest. But yeah, they were talking about.
We went to school together.
Really?
Yeah, because his shop was behind where my middle school was in Dominguez. I think that shop ended up being right behind Dominguez Elementary School. And he was from the area right there in Carson. So we probably went to Dominguez Elementary School together. Quentin Tarantino went to that school with me too, but he was a couple years older than me. But I remember him. I remembered him getting in trouble a lot. But he was like 3 or 4 years older than me.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you.
Remember his name and fucking everything. I remember seeing.
Well, that is a pretty because that is his real name. He didn't change it. That is a pretty distinctive name.
Yeah, and then Quentin worked at the video store that was just at the corner, just up the street from the school. Right near the Mexican restaurant. I think it was called El Ranchitos at the time, which is a good little Mexican restaurant.
Wonder if it's still there.
Probably not.
I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ian England said that had to have been a match made in hell. I can't even, imagine... Like I said, I don't know either of them in real life, but that does seem like a weird match.
The California celebrity scene's real superficial. They date other fucking famous people.
I mean, that's who they're around all the time.
And there's a lot of there's a lot of fucking abuse going on because you have extremely rich people in what's basically a ghetto. A lot of fucking the LA area is a ghetto. And the rich people are coming from that ghetto. So they just... You could be in the middle of a ghetto and drive fucking 15 minutes through these streets and you seeing fucking mansions and shit.
It's a weird area.
It's always been that way.
It's a weird area, yeah.
That's how Hollywood had so much power over the locals. That's how they recruit these young girls and fucking do all this fucking casting couch action and shit like that. Those girls didn't have any fucking money. And people would move there.
Well, yeah, everybody went there from all over the country.
But they didn't have
hoping
any
to get
money.
discovered.
Right.
Yeah. And they usually just ended up getting exploited. Or murdered in some cases. Which I've written about. But
I left there in 81. My family wasn't from there anyway. They moved there. They were actually Southern family. My mother was from Virginia. My dad was from Mississippi.
But that's where you were born, though.
Yeah.
California.
Yeah. Born in Lakewood. Lakewood, California.
My mom's from Baltimore, Maryland, and my dad is from Springfield, Tennessee. That's where. So I'm kind of southernish and kind of northernish also. I was saying while you were in the bathroom that one of these days we should do a drag queen double feature with Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, which are both... One of them is Australian, and one of them is American. All right, but they both have a similar theme. Well, and both of them are very good.
You can set that up. I won't remember any of that.
You probably will like them, okay. I would think. I haven't seen Tu Wong Fu in a long time, but I've seen Priscilla, Queen of the Desert multiple times, and I love that fucking movie. It has, what's his name from, what's that fucker's name? See, I get drunk and I can't remember actors' names anymore. The dude that was Wayland in Prometheus.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy was in it.
Yeah, I forgot what his name is.
Tammy was talking about an ABBA turd, yeah. Yeah, he had a turd from ABBA. That was one of the things that I remember most from that movie.
Tammy said she loved fucking Eddie Murphy as Gumby. Yeah, it's Gumby, damn it.
Yeah.
Gumby, damn it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, shit, man, back in the 80s, like, Eddie Murphy was the shit, man.
Yeah.
I must have watched Raw 4 bajillion times.
Yeah, you watch it now, it's not funny, but it was funny then.
I mean, it's still kind of funny, but it's just... Well, comedy doesn't age the same way as the other things do. Like, it's very rare to see a comedy, like an old comedy, that's still funny. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times you'll see some comedies, like, from the 80s or the 70s or something like that, and you're just like, what? You know what I mean? There are some, but... I will submit that from the 80s, Ghostbusters is still funny. Yeah. Ghostbusters is still funny. But a lot of comedies from the 80s, even ones that I thought were real funny in the 80s, if I watch them now, it's like, it's not as funny anymore. Yeah. It's just not funny.
History of the World, fucking Mel Brooks' History of the World isn't funny anymore. I watch it and I was just like, eh.
Although Airplane is still funny.
Yeah, Airplane's funny. Yeah.
I will submit that Airplane is still funny. Because we watched that a couple years ago and I'm like, okay, that's still funny.
Yeah, a lot of Mel Brooks stuff isn't funny anymore. Mm. Just that type of humor just kind of aged out.
Yeah, comedy is really...
Your threshold was smaller back then.
Yeah, and in a way, it's kind of like... It might be the hardest genre to like make something in, because that's something that... I feel like comedy ages worse than any other genre. Yeah. Like, you can watch a horror movie from the fucking 1920s, and that shit's still scary. You know what I mean? You can watch a drama from back then, and it's still good. But you watch a comedy back then, you're just like, what? It doesn't make any sense to you.
Old Dave Chappelle is still funny, because a lot of that's just storytelling.
Yeah, and I tend to like comedians that don't... I don't like comedians that are too topical. I don't... Because it dates. If they're just telling funny stories or making observations, that doesn't date. So that tends to be, that stays funny.
Telling stories about fucking... And then it was Charlie Murphy telling stories about fucking Prince. The time he was hanging out with Prince. That was fucking hilarious. That's Eddie Murphy's brother. And then fucking Dave Chappelle's playing... He's playing fucking Prince in Charlie Murphy's story. That was a fucking great one. You can't beat that one.
And I mean, that is still funny. Yeah. Even if you don't really...
You kind of have to know who Prince is.
Yeah, like I said, as time goes on, like, you'll lose that context, I guess. Yeah. So, in some ways, I think it's just better to make comedy out of, like, just universal truths or, like, universal human experiences. It doesn't date as much. But, you know, if you make too many topical references, 30 years from now, people are going to watch that and be like, what the actual fuck Prince? Are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
You know what I mean? So... And some comedies that you see nowadays, like, that still, even Airplane did that to a smaller degree, where it's like they reference stuff that was going on at the time, like in the late 70s or whenever that movie was made. And it's like nowadays people would be like, what are you talking about? Like, they don't understand the context. Yeah. But a lot of that stuff is still funny, though. It's better to just keep it general.
Ian says it's the same way where he lives. There's a fucking $1 million. What did he say right there? There's $1 million.
$10 million mansion's 5 minutes away from a damn tweak trailer park.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hollywood is like that too.
And then you got that millionaire going to that trailer park saying, "Any of you girls want to be a star?" You know, that's a recipe for disaster.
Also, who's got drugs?
Yeah, it's a recipe for disaster. And that's the way the LA area was like. Probably not like that anymore. Hollywood doesn't have the power it used to. And it's just, but that's the way it was. A lot of those rich people, or not, a lot of those rich, famous people in the Hollywood scene came from those local ghettos. And they didn't have any skills, really. So they had to do whatever the studio said, or if not, they'd be thrown back into those fucking ghettos.
And people will like that. People will do a lot if you're threatened with like, "Hey, we're just gonna chuck you back on the street and you'll be homeless again."
And then, you know, so. And it's not a new phenomenon. That went back to the 1920s. They were doing that.
Like I said, we were talking about that on the other show where Tom said, "Hey, if some like big oil sheik or something like that like offered you $250,000 to like go hang out with them for a week and you had to fuck them and stuff," he's like, "Yeah, you better go. I'll like keep you. I'll help. I'll
be packing your bags.
You know what I mean?" Which, like I said. I don't want to do that, money. But it's $250,000.
They could sit there counting the fucking numbers, going, "Well, what can
for just like 1 week? I could live for years and years, like on that. Yeah, it would be shitty, but I could put up with it for a week probably.
It's a job like any other job.
That's it. Yeah, it was just, and that's how I would approach it.
Yeah, they had me.
I'm just like, yeah, here we are.
Me going into combat zones, all right, where you can get killed for a lot less.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than being shot.
As long as the shit was safe, and I knew that fucking, you know, she'd come back alive and fucking. You know, and she's
I don't want to get murdered or nothing.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But it's like, you know what I mean.
We were talking about that with this fucking what's going on now because of Instagram and the internet. Billion-dollar fucking oil barons, the sons of billion-dollar oil barons, have access to beautiful women that don't have any money. And that's
just anywhere in the world.
For disaster. Yeah, anywhere in the world. And
like I said, you offer somebody $250,000.
Yeah. And then they give them a $60,000 down payment so they can buy clothes for the event. Fucking, and and then that girl, after all that, goes back to her little podunk town, and she's gonna marry those dudes in that area. Man, her fucking standards have been set awful high. She's never gonna come back from that. So who knows what kind of fucking pressure what kind of forces are put on that girl? Because these are girls in their 20s.
Although I like to think, because I'm old now.
Yeah, it's not the
so
same.
It's like, so it's not the same. So I'd be like, I'll just give me my $250,000, please, and then I'm just gonna go back home and like live happily for the rest of my life.
Yeah, because when you're older,
without having to do that crap.
When you're older, you know what reality is.
Sure.
You have but you know what the baseline is.
I'm like, woo, I could pay off all my credit cards and I could get a new car.
But when you're in your 20s, some chick's
put the rest of it in the savings account.
When you're in your 20s, a chick's not going to realize what an unusual situation that was and how that's never coming back.
Oh, I'm very aware that would never come back. I would very much take that as like, this is a one-time thing. Because like I said, I don't want to do that more than once. That would not be fun for me. That would not be fun at all.
But no, I totally understand it, because James said, what would happen if they do it to you? And I says, well, I think I'd have to fucking go.
Well, like I said, if I got to go, you got to
go. I would just try to change my fucking thinking, like I'm in a different role, like a secret agent.
Yeah. That, like I said, you just have to think of it as like, well,
character.
I'm just on like a short-term contract. This is a job that I have to do. I'm undercover.
Right? Yeah, undercover.
You got to do that. Like
get my fucking $250,000, and
just look at it like that.
And then that shit never happened.
Yeah. And then later on, you don't have to think about it anymore. Hopefully.
Buy a whole fucking fleet of fucking Harley Davidson.
You just gotta compartmentalize that shit. Because like I said, that would not be fun. I don't want to do that. It doesn't sound like a lot of fun for me. But for $250,000, I would probably put up with it. As long as I could just like forget about it when I came back home.
You'd have fun. Because the locations they were going at and everything, you'd have fun at.
Yeah,
but that's just part of the normal.
I wouldn't know anybody, and it's just kind of like, I don't know.
Jenny is a little bit of a fucking wet blanket when it comes to like, no, but you
I'm not a wet blanket. I'm just saying I wouldn't know anybody, and it's like they probably wouldn't have anything in common with me. They would probably not be cool.
It would. You know what I mean? It would be real mundane.
That's what I mean. It's like, and I don't really like hanging out with. I don't really like hanging out with like super normie people like that. Yeah. So it's just kind of like it wouldn't be fun for me.
Right.
And it's like, oh, and then we have to like, you know, exchange genitalia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to the restroom.
I'll put up with it for $250,000, but for less than that, I probably would not, because like I said, it doesn't sound like
for everything.
There is.
Yeah.
I agree, but like I said, I wouldn't enjoy it though. It wouldn't really sound like that much fun. Like I said, I'd have more fun like probably like hanging out with the girls than having to do shit with the dude, because I don't know that fucking dude. It would be weird, but you know what I mean. Tammy said, I think that's why Eddie Izzard is so funny. Yeah, that's what I always thought too. He does stories everyone can relate to or knows something about the subjects he brings up. That's one of the things that I mean, he's probably my favorite comedian ever. And I think that's why, because he doesn't really tell jokes. I don't really like comedians that just like tell jokes of like set up punchline, all that kind of stuff. I like ones that are like storytellers. And Eddie Izzard seems to do like a lot of, even though I don't know how much of his stuff is like improvised, but it seems very improv, like the way that he goes about things. And I know that he kind of like works on his stuff like as the show goes on, like he does a lot of improv type stuff. And he just like tells stories, and a lot of them kind of go in like real surreal directions, but you can still kind of like follow him into those directions, and that's like very funny to me. Like all of the stuff that he does is great. I mean, every single show of his that I've seen has been fucking hilarious. I don't think I've laughed so hard as I did the first time I saw Dressed to Kill. I think I just almost had a fucking heart attack laughing at how fucking funny that was. I mean, that's just like... And I've watched it like many, many times since then. I have it.
Watching what?
Eddie Izzard. I have like a bunch of their stuff. I have Dressed to Kill. I have what was the one before that? Circle. I have Circle, which was after that. I think that was mid 2000s. But I have like most of their stuff, and it's just like, oh my god, it's so fucking funny. It's just like fucking hilarious. Yeah, Hugo Weaving is also in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. I can't believe you've never seen that. That's so good. I love that fucking movie. Thank you very much, Lil Mova.
What's up, babe?
Hey, I'm super late, but Jenny, have you announced you're doing another live for Tomes of Terror, Flickers of Fear yet? I've actually watched it and kind of written out what I want to say about it. I think I'm going to do it on Sunday. Somebody requested that I do the 1981 movie Fear No Evil, and I found that on Shudder, so I watched it yesterday, and so I'll probably do like a stream about it on Sunday. Gonna say, like, right from here, I didn't love it, but it's interesting. If you're really into like religious horror, like if you liked The Omen or something like that, then you'd probably dig this. But it's out there. It's a little bit out there, gonna say.
No, but I shared a song with you on fucking Instagram. I sent you fucking Death in Rome, Pump Up and Jams. Your version of that. You would like that.
I had not realized that Death in Rome have so many, because I've heard a lot of their covers.
Oh, yeah.
But they have so many that I haven't like listened to yet.
So what that is they're a cover band. They cover pop songs, but they do it.
But then like in uber goth fashion.
Uber gothic, Germanic, fucking.
They're so great. It's so great.
Yeah, folk way.
It's so great.
They're doing it in the Death in June style. That was the original band that did that. Yeah. It was called neo folk, gothic neo folk.
Right.
And it's like,
so they're aping Death in June, but they have their own thing going on too. And they usually take a song that is like an 80s pop song, or they did some 90s upbeat. Pop. Yeah. They'll take like a real upbeat one, but they'll like
make it
like a dirge.
Yeah,
it's
it real
great.
Downbeat.
I love it. They did Love is a Battlefield, which I think is probably my favorite.
Pump Up the Jams.
They did Pump Up the Jams. They did Barbie Girl, the Aqua song.
They did fucking Careless Whispers.
Careless Whisper, the Wham song. Take on Me.
Yeah,
they did a really cool version of that.
Yeah, they did Cure's Disintegration.
Well, see, now that's kind of like a lateral move though, because that was already kind of a gothy song. But I kind of like when they take the ones that were like super upbeat, like pop songs. Yeah. And like turn them into like gothic dirges.
Yeah, it's all this Germanic fucking drums and fucking socialist sounding shit.
I think Love is a Battlefield is probably my favorite. Good, the Pat Benatar song. That's fucking great. I love that so much. It's on my phone, actually. We listen to it in the car sometimes.
The Sign. I saw.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Who did that fucking song?
I forgot.
I wanted to say Roxette, but I don't think it's not Roxette.
I sent her The Sign, and I sent her fucking Pump Up a Jam. Classic shit. That's a shit we got to listen to. We danced to that shit.
We got Paul Vane at Mannequins to play Death in Rome's version of Pump Up the Jam.
Yeah, I'm about to.
We were the only two people that danced to it.
Yeah, but he plays it early though.
He played it early.
Plays it too early. If he played it later when everybody was dancing, they'd do it.
He
knows that I'll go out and dance on my own. Yeah. Early in the night, so he'll play that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'll dance by myself. I don't care.
We dance,
I got more room. Right. At least I don't have like a bunch of douches like trying to like get in my fucking way. Right? Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, so he'll play like good shit. Like he'll play like Nick Cave or something like that.
Like check it out tonight. Yeah, you'll like it. And you can follow those links back to their shit. I've talked to them before. They're good dudes, and they got fucking 30 or 40 songs. They're in Germany. Fucking, they have one where they came down in a damn fucking Vril saucer, which is like a German World War II fucking flying saucer that they had. And I said, "Where'd you get that?" They go, "We got it off eBay."
Of course.
Yeah, they had a CG version of them coming out of the fucking flying saucer. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very into like they're that funny. Old like Germanic pagan.
Yeah, Germanic pagan.
Like, you know,
kind of fucking
like Mustache Man was
looking,
into.
Brown shirt kind of looking, but they're poking fun at it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's super funny.
Yeah.
Like funny, but like in a
dark way.
In a dark, like darkly funny. But I don't know. I dig it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mackie Mac said Scientology has a foothold in Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
There's a YouTuber trolling their staff every day and night. I think he calls himself Streets of LA. Whatever happened to the angry gay pope? Is he still out there doing?
He makes comments on my videos.
He's on my he's on Facebook. So he's on my Facebook. Like I know his real name, but
if I ever fucking post any muscle fucking videos, he's like, "Stop shaving." It's like, no, man, what are you talking about?
He tells you to stop shaving.
Man, I gotta get Jen to clip my back.
Yeah.
I grow hair every fucking where. It's ridiculous.
It's not that bad, but yeah, you do have a hairy back.
Yeah, you gotta fucking you know, doing what I do, you gotta fucking. I pull the clippers out, fucking Jen, fucking clip my back.
Yeah.
Shave it. Yeah, fucking shit gets nasty. But gays love it though. Gays like hairy men.
You're like a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you think, Zach? What is it? What is up with all this hairiness and shit?
Okay, so you're asking. So Zach is like the token gay. So you're asking.
Yeah, Zach is the token gay.
Hairy or not hairy? Like as far like we're talking about backs now.
Yeah.
He shaves everything else.
I shave everything.
He's hairless.
I try to keep trim.
But he can't do that. He can't do his back by himself. So I have to do it.
Yeah, the gays are always telling me to fucking let everything grow. They're these hairy motherfuckers. Yeah, I'm
like ambivalent. I don't like I don't want you looking like Sasquatch, but I don't really like. A little bit of hair doesn't.
Angry gay Pope tells me stop shaving.
Hair does not bother me.
And fucking the same thing with fucking my boy, fucking
who, Toby?
Toby, yeah.
Oh, he said stop shaving.
Yeah. But then I look at fucking Toby, and Toby's not all that hairy either. I said, yeah, you don't have hair on your back though. Yeah, well, you know.
I'm not. I don't know. I'm not bothered. Toby's like it doesn't gross me out.
Toby's not even on test.
I personally, like on myself, do not like to have hair, but I don't really care if other people do. It doesn't really bother me. Like, I'm not bothered by it
one way or the other.
She
loves Nick Cave.
That's crazy. He's my favorite. Yeah. Like, honestly, I love Nick Cave.
Because she's got a Nick Cave poster right there.
I got a Nick Cave poster right back there from Germany.
Can you see it from there?
Don't knock
see it right there?
Yeah.
See, it says fucking Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds right there.
And it's all in German. It was like from a German show that he did.
Yep.
And honestly, I'm probably like a bigger... Like, I love his solo shit. But I'm probably a bigger fan of the Birthday Party. I just love that fucking crazy fucking post-punk energy that they had. His solo shit, I really like it up until he started to like mellow out some, which, you know, like I said, that's what happens when you get older. And I do like his more mellow shit. It's kind of grown on me more like as I've gotten older. But to be honest, like my favorite shit of his solo stuff is probably like his real early shit. I mean, his first album, From Her to Eternity, I love that fucking album. I listen to it all the time. It's very rudimentary, but I don't know. I'm just kind of into it. Like all that fucking shit that was on it. Like his cover of Leonard Cohen's Avalanche was fucking great. I love that fucking cover. Saint Huck was great. Like that whole fucking album is so good. And I love the blues album that he did. Firstborn is Dead. That's also fantastic. Probably my favorite album of theirs though, I think was Henry's Dream, which I think came out in 92. That's probably the one I listened to the most out of all of the solo stuff. I have all of his stuff though.
I like that album. They had what was called Murder Stories.
Murder Ballads.
Murder Ballads.
Yeah. That's great too. That was 96. I want to say that came out in 96. That's also great.
Lee.
Yeah, his cover of Stagger Lee I fucking love. And like I said, we go to Mannequins and
they play that.
And he'll play that for me because he knows I love that song.
What's one of the Red Right Hand?
That was on Let Love In, which was 94.
Yeah, that was what's the name of that song? Red Right Hand?
Yeah, it's called Red Right Hand.
Okay, yeah.
That was like the theme song of Scream, although the song came out before that.
Yeah.
But that is also a great album. Probably my second favorite.
Yeah, that's another time when you got foreigners fucking fantasizing about living in the South. Nick Cave loves the South.
Well, and he's Australian. And they have a thing about like America. Well, but because Nick Cave, I mean, even from a young age, even from the Birthday Party days when he was like in his fucking teens or 20s, he was real into Southern blues singers.
Yeah.
And even later on, he did an album called "Kicking Against the Pricks."
Yeah.
Which is a Bible quote, and he did covers of songs that he really loved, and a lot of them were blues covers. Like he did "Hey Joe," he did "I'm Gonna Kill That Woman," which I think was originally Muddy Waters, and he did like a bunch of blues songs. Like he did like some Velvet Underground and shit. Like he did All Tomorrow's Parties and stuff like that. But
some of the first, I think probably the first goth song was a Mississippi Delta blues song called "I Put a Spell on You."
Yeah.
I would say that was gothic. And it wasn't old Howlin' James. He wasn't the first one that did it. I heard the
Howlin', yeah.
He covered that. There was a dude that fucking
Well, all of those songs were way older.
They're way older, yeah.
Because people...
Mississippi blues.
Yeah, people would like take songs, like record them. The songs that hadn't been recorded.
That was the shit Elvis was hearing.
Yeah.
When he was a kid going, man, I got to bring this shit to the fucking mainstream. And that's what it was. If you go listen to the original version of "I Put a Spell on You," it's good, real good. I've heard I think that was 20s, maybe 30s.
Yeah, all of them are like really old.
The recordings are out there. They're on YouTube.
Tammy said Red Right Hand is also the opening song for the show Peaky Blinders, which we still haven't watched. Like we've had it recommended to us like so many times. Also has Tom Hardy. Oh shit, we should watch that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Right Hand, like I said, I think a lot of people know that song because it was the kind of unofficial theme song of Scream, the original Wes Craven one that came out in 96 or whenever that came out. That album came out in 94, though. And that, I mean, I will admit that is a great song. That's not my favorite song off that album. I think my favorite song off that album is probably the opening one, which is called Do You Love Me? Which is still, that's a fucking fantastic song. I love that fucking album, too. But I think that's probably why, because they do actually play that at clubs, and a lot of people do seem to know that song. I think it's mostly from Scream, but might be from Peaky Blinders too. Lil Movie said, my boyfriend introduced me. First song I heard was She's Hit. Oh my god, I love that fucking song. My favorite birthday party song though is Swampland. Swampland is my favorite birthday party song. Although Jennifer's Veil is a close second. I don't know. It goes back and forth. I love Jennifer's Veil also. Really, the last EP they did, which was just called Mutiny. I think it was only, only 4 songs? 4 songs? 6 songs? Something like that. But all of the songs on there were fucking fantastic. Jennifer's Veil and Mutiny in Heaven are fucking great. But, yeah. Swampland, easily my favorite birthday party song. But Jennifer's Veil, second. Yeah, Hido said I love Swampland. My favorite is Mutiny in Heaven. Yeah, Mutiny in Heaven's great too. Like, I have it on my phone, and it's like every time it comes on, I'm just like fucking signal. They were so fucking weird. I loved them. I mean, that was so fucking good. They were just... It was just kind of like... I don't even know how to describe it. It's blues influenced, obviously, but it's also post-punk influenced, and it's also kind of just like madness influenced and drug influenced. And I've never really heard anything like it before or since. They're very singular. Like, they don't really sound like anyone else. And I'm just like really into it. But like I said, Nick Cave is really kind of one of my personal heroes, I guess, because not only is he a great fucking songwriter, but he's also written a couple of novels, which were fantastic and also kind of crazy. First one being And the Ass Saw the Angel, and he also wrote one called The Death of Bunny Monroe, which I feel like a lot of people don't talk about all that much, but I've read it and it's good. It's not as good as And the Ass Saw the Angel though. That book was like very William Faulkner-esque, I want to say. So it's kind of out there. But if you like William Faulkner, if you like Southern Gothic, then you'd probably like be super into it. Because he was very into like Old Testament imagery. You know what I mean? Like, he was real into that kind of shit. And I was like really into it. So it's like, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in any of that kind of stuff. But it's like, I love all of the like iconography around that kind of stuff. And like the whole thing he did, like on Firstborn is Dead, which was his second solo album with the Bad Seeds, he did a song called Tupelo, which was basically comparing the birth of Elvis with the birth of Jesus, but it was done like seriously, like myth making, and it was just like fucking brilliant. Like the lyrics for that are fucking brilliant. I think he's one of the best songwriters ever. You know? So see, we got some other like Nick Cave and birthday party fans in there. So I'm not just a nerd.
What's that?
I'm not just a nerd.
Yeah.
We got some other...
And the movie said her boyfriend introduced her to
Yeah.
First song was, She's Hit.
Yeah, She's Hit. That's a great fucking song. I love that song. But I told her Swampland was my favorite.
Yeah.
And then High Desert said I love Swampland. Also, it said my favorite is Mutiny in Heaven, which is that's got to be in my top 5. Although, man, all their songs are so fucking good. I really like, they did one called Say a Spell, and it's really hard to find it nowadays. But I really, really like that one too. I don't know if I'm sure you probably heard that one, but that's another one of my favorite ones called Say a Spell. Really, really good.
So who's your boyfriend, Lil Mover? Where'd he hear Nick Cave?
Birthday Party.
And all
that was his old band, yeah.
Yeah, he must be an old guy. You're that he's cool young guy.
Or a cool young guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's hard to tell these days because, like I said, we've met some fucking
young people that know all kinds
19,
of shit.
20-year-olds that know all of that shit.
You know that shit? And they go, oh, yeah. And they name all the people in the band and everything and all the albums. So like, God damn.
Well, in a way, that's kind of cool because I was talking to my brother about this because he was flabbergasted because he's only 4 years younger than I am. And he's into a lot of the same music as me. He was in a punk band back in the day and shit like that. So I told him we were going to our grandma's funeral, and we were riding together, so we were talking about that. And I said, bro, he doesn't go out anymore. You know, he's married, he has kids and stuff like that. So I was kind of like, we have met 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that know all of the old music, and sometimes like know more about it than I know about it, which is saying something. And I was like, it's kind of cool, like, because for them... I mean, for us...
For them, it's ancient history for them.
Well, yeah, but for them, they're not sick of it either.
Yeah.
Like, for them, it's almost kind of like, yeah, it's old, but it's also, like, brand new. For us, you go to a club and you hear I don't know, This Corrosion or something like that, and you're like, oh, here's, like, I love that song, but it's like, oh, here's this song again. We've been hearing that for fucking 40 years, you know what I mean? But for them, it's not like that. It's like they might have just discovered that song a year or two ago, so it's new for them.
She answered me in 2 places right there.
Yeah, he's older, but I'm older than I look. He's a punk metal band member.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's into surreal art, too.
Yeah, okay. See, that's awesome.
How old are you guys? How old are you and her?
I mean, just curious.
Just curious, yeah.
Yeah. But so, yeah.
Her movie looked like she was in her 20s to me, mid-20s.
You did look very young
Mid-20s,
from the video that I saw of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, High Desert said I've never seen Nick Cave live, unfortunately. I haven't either. The only time that I ever had the possibility was I had bought tickets to Lollapalooza in 1994. They were playing at the fairground in DeLand. I had tickets. I was super excited. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds were playing. I was also excited about L7 because I like them. I don't remember what other bands were on it. But I was super jazzed. The morning of the show, I wake up and it had rained the whole previous night and the fairground flooded and the stage sank into the mud. And they canceled it on the morning. And they didn't reschedule, so I never got to see him. Now, my sister, who is 7 years younger than me and also a big Nick Cave fan, has seen him multiple times because she lives in actual cities where he actually plays. So I'm kind of jealous about that. She's seen him at least 3 or 4 times, I think. And she always likes to rub it in. She's like, oh my God, it was so awesome. And I'm like, oh my God, you suck.
She's 30, he's 36. Oh, y'all are still youngsters.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You guys live here in Florida?
High Desert said, a chick I used to know introduced me to the birthday party when I was 15. She became a junkie later. Yeah, that probably happened a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Nick Cave being a big heroin addict. Although, he did get over it, I guess. He was one of the ones that didn't die young from that.
I've never known a guy who is hooked up just walk away from it like that, though. They take little vacations away from it.
Well, he has said, and I mean, he's probably, I don't know how old he is now, but he's probably like in his 60s, I would imagine.
He's older than me.
Yeah,
by a long time.
And he said that, he's like, well, I read an interview with him a few years ago, and he said, I think that because of all the problems I had with heroin and all that other kind of stuff, he's like, I think I want, like, everybody wants me to come out and say, you know, don't do drugs, drugs are bad things. He's like, but I don't think drugs are bad things. Yeah. He's like, you know, sometimes you can do them and it's fun and it's fine and stuff like that. And, you know, and I don't think, I don't know about nowadays now that he's older, but, you know, I didn't get the impression that he stopped taking them entirely. I just think that he has, like, a better handle on it.
Well, that's like what Billy Idol says.
Right.
Yeah, Billy Idol, he's not as crazy as he was. He still does stuff.
I mean,
I think heroin is one of the ones that
and that's the thing. When you get older, that's kind of one of the nicer things about getting older is that you're not...
You got less to lose.
Well, one, you have less to lose. Yeah. And you have, like, more control over yourself. So it's just kind of like, you can do some shit and go crazy and stuff like that. But it's like, man, I don't have to do that again, like, for a while. You know what I mean? You don't get sucked into it the same way that you get sucked into it when you're younger.
Yeah.
You know, so... I kind of feel like that's maybe the case with, and honestly, like, Nick Cave still looks fucking good, like, for as old as he is.
Yeah.
He didn't get fat. He didn't bloat out or anything like that, like some other rock stars that we could name.
Yeah.
Just kind of same as Iggy Pop. Like, he probably took all the drugs back in the old days, but he looked pretty fantastic. Like he looks like an old man, but he looks like a cool old man.
Yeah.
Not getting fat is a big thing.
Yeah, keeping weight off you.
Yeah, I think that helps a lot.
Well, it's kind of like Billy Idol. He looks old now. He doesn't look as good as he did 15 years ago. He looks pretty old. But he's not fat, so he can still pull it off. And, you know, he's still got a lot of fans, and I like seeing him. And he kind of made a good transition into the internet world, where instead of releasing albums, he's just releasing singles on YouTube. And still touring.
Yeah, I mean...
You know, and making single videos. That's how people do it now.
And I'm sure he has enough of a fan base that would, like, probably sustain him.
Yeah, he just has to tour.
Sure.
You know, he tours and...
And you can even do, like, smaller clubs and shit like that.
Yeah.
Sure. That's the thing, and I kind of feel like a lot of 80s bands do that because there's a lot of old fuckers like us, and not just old fuckers, but like I said, younger fuckers that just discovered the music.
I mean, he's a granddad.
Yeah.
You know, but he owns his own house now, and he doesn't. I don't think he really needs the money. I think everything's paid for. I think.
Yeah.
I think that house he owns it.
I would hope so. It would really bum me out if somebody that was that famous back in the day, like now had to fucking scrabble for money.
He's doing pretty good.
That would really like bum me out.
He did a single just a year or so back called Roadside. You can see the video and everything on YouTube. It's great. It's a great song. Used to play it at the I put the Oasis for the bikers. I put Roadside on. They fucking loved it. That's Billy Idol. They go, they you know, oh yeah.
I even liked his Christmas album.
We got a good. Man, we got to play the Christmas album. Where is it?
I don't know. What'd you do with it?
It's around here somewhere.
Around here somewhere.
Yeah, I got his album.
Yeah, we got his Christmas album. Like last year or the year before.
I think Tammy bought the Christmas album too.
I think I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like that Christmas
Billy
album.
Idol's fucking Christmas album.
I mean, everybody got to do a Christmas album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, I got to pee.
Okay, go ahead.
Talk about something. I'll be back in a minute.
I'll talk about something. I'll tell you what I'll talk about is I'll talk about how hungry I am. I made some butter chicken, Indian butter chicken. Made it last night. It's even better today. I probably got a gallon of that shit left. I think I used 8 chicken breasts in it. So there's a lot of food down there with basmati rice waiting on me. So I'm sitting here doing the show, drinking, getting hungry. I'm not in the Christmas spirit yet. For some reason, it's not really dawning on me that it's fucking Christmas. I'm buying Christmas gifts for everybody. Sent Christmas gifts to fucking Soph. I got Christmas gifts for Jen, my mom. I got buying shit for people, and I'm just not really in the Christmas spirit yet. Out of the house, I got the projectors and everything, just ready to go. I've just been busy out there, fucking tearing fucking shit out, doing the yard work. Gonna make that fucking display out in the front. Put a new fucking garden in there, whatever you call it. And try to increase the value of this fucking house. We'll sell this bitch off in another fucking 7 or 8 years, and me and Jen will fucking split to the Philippines and live like fucking kings.
We have talked about doing that.
Yeah.
Like maybe moving to another country where it was like much cheaper.
Yeah, because the Philippines is a U.S. protectorate. So my VA money can be sent to the Philippines. And I make $2,000 a fucking month, just VA fucking free money. And that's a shit ton of money in the Philippines. You know, that's enough. That's a lot. And then with the show and the other things that we do online, we can still do the show from the Philippines.
Yeah, that's kind of the nature of it. So we can do the shit from anywhere.
We can continue to work.
We could do this show from anywhere.
Yeah.
We could do porn from anywhere.
Yeah.
I could do graphic design from anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's what's nice about it.
I'm just trying to put, it's not time, but when the time comes, I want to put the feelers out to see where a good place would go to move. It might be Philippines, might be Mexico. Mexico might be cool too, because they got a much better goth scene in Mexico City.
They do have a really good goth scene in Mexico.
But I think the Philippines is even cheaper than Mexico.
It is. So, at least now.
Right now. I mean, you can buy a fucking palace for $150,000 in fucking Philippines. That's what it's like. Fucking making $2,000 a month in the Philippines is equivalent to making like $6,000 a month here. That and your credits. My credit is fantastic. So I got a good relationship with the bank. I could just fucking finance a home and have a home constructed. That's another thing I could do.
Yeah, we have a thing.
I've been researching the other dudes that are doing it.
Yeah.
Because
that's something we've been discussing for the future.
Yeah, and a lot of fucking days. VA guys. If you're listening to me, Murder Hornet, that's another fucking VA guy. He's on VA fucking. Yeah,
you don't gotta live in the United States. You don't have to live in the United States. You can move somewhere, but much cheaper.
Yeah.
Which we've been thinking.
That money goes a lot further in the Philippines. And because it's a U.S. protectorate, they won't shut off your fucking flow of your money.
Which I wouldn't mind living in the Philippines. It looks nice, and they have really good food there.
The people are real nice.
That's what I've heard.
People are real nice and friendly, and there's no real crime, and You get a lot for your money and a lot of fun. And they do have clubs there. They even have fucking fetish clubs and shit like that.
See, I like that.
There. So they have,
like I said, I want like a low stress lifestyle.
Yeah. And you just wind down over in the Philippines.
Sure.
Yeah.
Lil Movie said they're in Tennessee.
They're in Tennessee, okay.
When I visit, I will see y'all. My father's side of the family is from Tennessee, so I've been there a few times.
Yeah, I was over at in Clarksville.
And my brother used to live there, too.
I was in Clarksville when I was in the 101st. I used to go to Nashville all the time. And then I have a friend of mine from Detroit actually moved to Nashville. So, yeah, I like Tennessee. Tennessee is kind of like the big city of Mississippi. If you're in Mississippi, so I'm going to move to the big city. What are you talking about? Fucking Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nashville. Clarksville.
High Desert said, I love Andrew Eldritch.
Yeah.
He's still thin, but his voice is shot. I also love Robert Smith. His voice hasn't changed, but he's fat now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Robert Smith, let's be charitable. He doesn't look too great now.
No, he looks like shit.
But he seems like he doesn't really give it. He doesn't have to give a shit.
His music is still really good.
But
his shows are boring, though.
Their shit's still good, though.
Yeah, the music's really good. His shows are boring.
So he's probably like, it doesn't.
They just stand there.
I don't care what I look like.
The Cure is still a great band. And, and their music is fucking great.
Who would have thought? I never would have thought, because I got into The Cure in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And I never would have thought that they'd still be fucking going.
Yeah. Lil Mover, if you want to hear some good music, man.
Many years later. They're still good.
Yeah. Lil Mover, get a Cure album.
They're still
One
good.
of the old classic Cure albums. Like Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Disintegration, or fucking Head on the Wall. Or
Head on the Door.
Head on the Door.
Pornography is my favorite.
Is really the best album, right? Yeah.
But I mean, that's like super like gothic.
It's old, yeah, real old shit.
82 that came out.
Yeah.
That's still my favorite album.
Faith was good.
Yeah, Faith was good too.
Yeah.
Pornography is still my favorite.
Right.
I don't know. I have a lot of other favorites, but that's still my favorite. That's still the one that I revisit the most. You know?
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of their other ones, but that's the one that I revisit the most because it's just that's the one if I'm gonna listen to the whole album.
Yeah.
I can listen to the whole thing. Although Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me is like that too. Which is weird because that one is just like 10 different styles.
Yeah.
But somehow it all still hangs together like as one thing, which is amazing.
Yeah, Move, if you and your man come down to visit in Florida, go ahead and fucking contact us. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, that would be super fun, actually.
Yeah, we'll show you guys where to go and shit.
Yeah, we'll go clubbing. It'll be super fun. It'll be super fun.
Yeah.
I'm super excited that you're like into Nick Cave too, because I don't get to geek out about that. Tom, like you like some of his songs, but
some of his stuff. I don't like everything.
You're not like super into.
Some of it's gospel.
Yeah, he's real into, and I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Like, it's not usually something that I would like, but I don't know. I kind of dig it.
His gospel can kind of get on my nerves, but all gospel gets on my nerves. That's why one of the reasons why I like Elvis as a guy. I don't really like his music because most of his music was gospel.
Yeah. Well, Nick Cave was a big Elvis fan too.
But Elvis had some good songs, man. Fucking If I Can Dream was a fucking good one.
Yeah.
A lot of his old rock and roll stuff was pretty good. But a lot of Elvis's music was fucking gospel.
Yeah.
Even though I know it was good gospel, I just don't like gospel.
Well, I mean, Nick Cave, a lot of his early stuff is gospel inspired. He didn't really do what I would call a gospel album until he did one that, what the fuck was that one that came out in the 90s that had the Weeping song on it?
I'll tell you one thing.
That had a song called The Witness song on it that was straight up gospel, but that is an awesome fucking song.
Cave could capture the gothic feel, the vibe, the sound.
Yeah.
No matter what he sang, it had a gothic tinge to it. The goths liked.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I like him because he's real into, like, he's Australian, so he didn't grow up in this culture.
Yeah.
But he really is into Southern Gothic.
Yeah.
Like, not just the music. Like, he likes all the blues and Elvis and stuff like that. But he's into, like, the literature. Like I said, like William Faulkner, Flannery O'Connor, like, stuff like that. He's into that whole gestalt, I guess. Yeah. And he's really good, even though he's not even from here, he's very good at, like, conveying that in a way that's, like, crazy to me that he wasn't born here.
Yeah, what's funny is if you're born in the South, you take it for granted. But the South itself, me being from a Southern family that's moved everywhere and I've lived in other countries and the South is a very special place. It has its own vibe to it.
We got our own shit going on.
Yeah, and I like it. Although I could live anywhere, I like the South. If I'm going to live in the United States, it's going to be in the South. If I'm going to live in South America, it's going to be in Brazil. All right. If I was going to live in Central America, it'd be somewhere in Mexico. Maybe Mexico City, in the goth scene there. If I was to live in the Far East, I don't think I'd go back to Korea, because I lived in Korea already. I'd probably go to the Philippines. I have no interest in Japan. Everybody's all interested in Japan.
I wouldn't mind visiting Japan, but it seems kind of expensive to live there.
And it's generic. That's just a big urban place. You know, there are country places in Japan. Maybe I'd probably like those better. But I don't like places that are highly civilized and homogenized, and I like places that are a little wilder than that, you know. And the South has that. Central and South American places have that. Philippines seems to have that, you know. I like the off-brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the off-brand stuff.
High Desert said Cade made a cameo in that Jesse James movie with Brad Pitt. Yeah, he played, what was the name of his character? Well, he's been in a couple movies. Man? He was in one called Ghosts of the Civil Dead, which was a Australian film. He was in that movie. He played a character called Storm something in that Brad Pitt movie, but I can't remember what it is right now. Also, he's done scores for a lot of movies, and he wrote the screenplay for a Western called The Proposition, which was actually very, very good. Super, super violent, which, like I said, if you know anything about him, you won't be surprised. Like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, of course. This is very Nick Cavey. You know what I mean? Yeah, The Proposition. Yeah, that was a great fucking movie. I really liked that a lot. What the fuck was the name of that movie with Brad Pitt in it? Yeah, Nick Cave was in it, and he had like a, God damn it, he had like a big white pompadour. Shit, man. What was the name of that movie? I saw it a couple of times. Somebody will remember. Like I said, I get drunk and I can't really remember shit. But I know I've seen it. But yeah, it was really good. And I think right around the same time he was in Ghosts of the Civil Dead, which, like I said, I've actually never seen because it's an Australian movie and it's kind of hard to get hold of. That was when he did the Mercy Seat video, which I love. The Mercy Seat. Johnny Cash covered that song, which is fucking crazy to me. He did something different with it. He did something more like the version that's on the album, which is called Tender Prey, is a lot different. When he would do live shows, when Nick Cave would do live shows later on, like I have a live album called Live Seeds that he did, and he did a version of Mercy Seat on there that was kind of closer to the version that Johnny Cash would do later. It was kind of more like a folky kind of version, I guess. I love Johnny Cash's version too, but I don't know if a lot of people know what the original sounds like because it doesn't sound anything like the album version doesn't sound anything like the Johnny Cash version. But the Johnny Cash version is good too. But like I said, Nick Cave would do like a more folky version of the Mercy Seat later on, which, like I said, that song was about, like I said, he was very into like Old Testament imagery. That song was about a man who was on death row and he was in the electric chair. And the whole thing was an extended metaphor about the electric chair being like God's seat of judgment. So it was very like Old Testament, but it was also kind of about a dude like getting executed, like for murder. You know what I mean? So it was, so I loved that he would take shit like that, but like put it like in an Old Testament, like biblical kind of context. I don't know. I just really liked that whole like fucking situation. And like I said, I think he's one of the best songwriters like ever. Like his lyrics are fucking fantastic. Love them. And he's written like a bunch of books of his lyrics as well, like poems and stuff.
I want to see that movie, that Czechoslovakian movie. What's it called? The Undertaker, the Embalmer.
Oh, the one that was in the the Death in Rome video.
Yeah, a little mover. That one of those videos that I sent you, the second one.
Yeah.
That music video is made up out of a movie. A Czechoslovakian movie post World War II, before World War II really started, a guy it's about a Nazi, and he kills his own family members because they're part Jewish, and he owns a damn funeral home. It's a horror movie.
Yeah,
I want to see it. It's called, I think it's called The Embalmer. That's what that movie.
Yeah, you can probably find it.
We were looking for it.
Yeah,
we were looking for. We'll find it. But it's not in English language. It's in Czech.
We'll find it.
Yeah.
Ben says
they say it's a masterpiece.
I mean, it looks cool, like just from the
it's black and white.
Ben, who is from New Zealand, has seen Ghosts of the Civil Dead, which is cool because I want to see it. It's a prison movie. It's pretty good. There's a guy who gets beaten up and has cunt tattooed on his forehead. He wears a bandana after that. I guess as you would. But yeah, that's one movie that I've actually been wanting to see a lot because I know that was something that Nick Cave was in. And there was, like I said, in the Mercy Seat video, which they showed on, what was that show they used to have on MTV? 120 Minutes. They used to show that a lot back in 1988. And I remember hearing a lot about that movie, but I never got to see it. You know what I mean? But Nick Cave's been in a couple of movies. But he's written some movies, too. And written, like, scores for them. Yeah. So Ben's seen it. One of these days I'll see it. Somebody send me a copy. That'll play, like, on an American thing.
How long has the show been going on?
2 hours and 36 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm having a good time. We're not going anywhere.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry too, but I still got some drink left. Drink left.
We'll finish this drink stuff.
You gonna have more butter chicken, or are you gonna make something else?
Butter chicken.
I mean, that butter chicken is like so
I got
good.
a bunch of it down there.
You were making it the other day. You didn't tell me ahead of time that you were making it, but it's like I was up here working and I smelled it something, and I was like,
yeah,
that smelled like butter chicken.
Yeah,
I hope that's butter chicken. That's what it smelled like. You make really good butter chicken.
Thank you.
Gonna say we tried out. I think we forgot to mention this. We tried out a new Indian restaurant.
Yeah, that's right.
Last weekend.
Yeah.
In Mount Dora.
Yeah.
Because we got up Saturday and we're kind of like, man, you know what? I don't really feel like going to the Chinese buffet today. Let's go to a new place, like a place we haven't been to before. So we kind of went on Google and looked around. It's like, what's around here? Tom's like, hey, there's an Indian restaurant called Shiva in Mount Dora. Maybe we should try that out. They don't have a buffet. Like, we couldn't determine if they had a buffet or not.
No, they had a buffet, but not on those days.
They did, but, like, not on the day that we went. So we went there. It's a small place. Like,
it's the size of this room.
Yeah, it looked big, like, in the pictures, but it's not. And I'm going to say, like, the service is slightly slow.
Yeah.
But the food was really good.
Yeah, pretty good.
The food was really good. I got...
It was expensive, though.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I think we paid almost $60 for two of us. Which
yeah, it was
for Florida. That's
with a tip, it was 53,
53,
55, something like that.
And in Florida, that's expensive.
But I'm gonna say that was too. Well, we also got like the
It's got a side
the
of
naan, and I think that was $7 on its own.
$7 for bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little steep.
It is a little bit.
Yeah.
The food was good though. I got lamb korma. You got chicken korma.
Chicken korma, that's right.
And it was like really, really good.
Pretty good.
I was curious because one of our favorite Indian restaurants in Central Florida is Memories of India.
Which we have to go back to soon.
Yeah, which is in Lake Mary.
Yeah.
And they do a lamb korma that is out of this fucking world.
Yeah, it's real spicy though.
But it's, no, it's not. You can get it mild. I usually get it mild. But the thing about their lamb korma...
It's brown. Yeah,
it's very, very brown, and it has slivered almonds.
Yeah.
In the sauce, which I'm all about.
I don't think Memories of India is actual Indian food, but it tastes good.
Well, like I said, everybody's got their own. And the thing
yeah.
about it is that India is a big country, right? So it's just kind of like whatever Indian restaurant you go to. I mean, wherever that chef is from, like whatever region of India that's from, the recipes are going to be.
We
different.
have seen Indian people in there eating it.
Yeah. So it's just So I was curious. To get lamb korma at this other place because I was like, oh well, I always get lamb korma at Memories of India, and I wanted to see like how it was different. You know what I mean? Because it was, and it was a lot different, but it was still like really good.
It was yellow instead of brown.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot more turmeric heavy.
Yeah.
Whereas the one at Memories of India is a lot more
garam masala.
Garam masala, and like I said, had like slivered almonds and stuff like that. I still will say the Memories of India one is better, but the one at Shiva was good too.
It's still pretty good. Yeah.
Just different.
I don't know if the cost was effective.
Maybe not. Like,
I'd rather
like
go to fucking Memories of India for that price.
Well, Memories of India, they're slightly expensive, but you get a lot. Yeah. Like they honestly, I think they give you the naan for free, right? Yeah. It just comes with it.
Yeah, and they have a buffet on the weekends, remember?
On Sundays they do,
Sundays,
yeah.
they do.
And they have like they have a champagne brunch.
Yeah, champagne brunch.
Like they give you like the what do you call the?
That's where we're going. We're going there this weekend.
You want to go to Memories of India?
We're going to that champagne brunch. We're going to look that.
That's
shit up.
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday.
I think it's just Sunday. Might be Saturday too. I'm not sure.
I remember just eating till we just filled to the fucking gills, man. Going, man, you know, you had to struggle to go home and shit. But shit, we're both on gear. We can eat fucking. We can eat food till fucking our heart's desire and not really put on any fat.
Well, I mean, I can't eat that much food anyway because I'm just kind of like I can't really eat that much at one time.
But there's no room
because I'm just like I'm just gonna throw up. So
yeah. Y'all need to fucking see Jen. Y'all are gonna see it soon. Jenny's fucking body's looking so fucking fantastic. She's fucking looking better than I've ever fucking seen her. Her booty is ridiculous.
He was biting it yesterday.
Yeah, I was biting it.
He kept biting it.
I couldn't resist.
I went in there like I was spotting him.
Fucking bite it, yeah. I was working out
because he was like doing like he was lifting like really heavy weights and stuff, and so I went in there to spot. And then like I was leaving, and I had my little shorts on.
She had little booty shorts on. Yeah.
Little booty shorts, and he's just like, "Come here a second," and then he bit my ass.
Yeah, I bit her on that. I couldn't resist it.
And then like a video. And then like later on, we're like laying in the room, and I was watching. What was I watching? I was watching MasterChef Junior.
Yeah, I was sitting there.
The Christmas edition.
Sitting there, start fucking.
And he just keeps like
rubbing on it,
and keep like rubbing on it and biting it and stuff. I'm like, do you want me to pause this or?
Couldn't help it.
We had to pause it and put porn on.
Yeah, yeah. And then it went down. Just
although the porn that you picked was
sucked. It sucked.
I wasn't really watching it, but you know.
Yeah, I wasn't really watching it. There was really nothing to see. But I just want to have some background shit, ambiance going on. But anyway, Jen's fucking hormonal profile is fucking causing her to fucking take a shape I've never seen her before. It's just her shape is fucking getting furious, man, and it happened fast. 2 months.
It did, which is really
2
weird.
months, yeah.
And like I said,
it was serious gear though. I
haven't really noticed it all that much because you're not
used to it yet. I'm gonna take a picture of it.
I've gotten comments though, like from other people.
Yeah, what'd they say?
Well, excuse me. I didn't get up that early. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Remember I said that British guy that watched us on StreamMate.
Yeah.
He actually like messaged me the other day and said, "Hey, I haven't seen you guys on StreamMate in a while. Like, are you guys all right? And what's going on? And blah blah blah." So I was talking to him for a while this morning. And he's like, he's seen some of our older shows, and he's like, "You guys look a lot different nowadays than you did back then." And I was like, "Yeah, we're like on hormones and all this other kind of stuff." And he's just like, "You guys look amazing like nowadays." So I was just like, yeah, that's awesome.
Technology is a reality.
Yeah. And I got a comment the other day on one of my videos. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been one of my Scare Salon ones.
Yeah.
And the person that was commenting was like super excited. They're like, not only are you super into horror movies, but you're also very funny, and you're also, I think the term they used was uncomfortably hot.
Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
Okay.
I'm not really sure how to take that, but okay.
That was just from the video that you made, or was it?
I don't remember what video it was. I think it was one of my Scare Salon videos. Okay. I think it was the last one that I put up, which was my 5 favorite horror movies from 1982. It might have been that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the weird thing about it is that I post shit over on my Scare Salon channel.
Yeah.
And some of those people don't know about 13 o'clock.
Okay.
So they must be just being recommended that. Without.
Right.
Which, like I said, so I always kind of try to say, hey, I have like a channel over here where I do like a bajillion movie and book reviews that I try to cross post them, like at least put them in the, in the playlist. Like on Scare Salon, I have a playlist that's 13 o'clock book reviews, 13 o'clock movie reviews. But the thing about it is that live streams, it won't let me post a live stream as a video, like in a playlist. I don't really understand why that is. So I'm thinking about maybe I should just upload them like separately. I don't know.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out one of these days. But yeah, so it's weird because I'm kind of finding like another audience over there that don't know about the main channel, which is crazy to me. That's crazy. But yeah, I do have 2 other channels, if you didn't know about that. Scare Salon, which is my horror channel, and Crime and Memorial, which is my crime channel. I actually did a video today for my crime channel. I'm going to post it on Monday. And I might do a live stream tomorrow, like I said, about Fear No Evil from 1981. Which, like I said, I don't remember who it was that recommended it. I didn't love it. But there was some batshit stuff going on in that movie, though. I don't know if the batshit nature of it made up for the boring parts, but it was interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can't believe I never saw this shit back in 1981. Or maybe I did and I just forgot about it, but I'm just like, wow, what the fuck is even going on in this movie? It was kind of like, imagine 1981, imagine The Omen meets Grease. Kind of.
Yeah, right.
But with a little bit of Carrie thrown in there.
Okay.
Like, it was kind of like that, but then it was, like, over-the-top homophobic also.
Now, there's somebody in there named Balquan that's talking about the Philippines. He says that's really the way to go. What do you say?
Where is that?
It's up.
Did I miss it?
Balquan, I think his name is Balquan, something in there.
Oh, shit.
Keep going.
How far back is this? Okay, well, I remember all this, so... Okay, I remember that one. Look at the unicorn. Are you seeing stuff I'm not seeing?
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone now. Where'd it go?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't see it.
Man, it was just here a minute ago.
That happens sometimes. If you see it, read it to me, because I don't see it.
No, his name is Malky.
Malky. Oh, Mackie Mac. Yeah.
Yeah. He goes. Yeah. Philippines is the way to go.
Oh, okay.
Heck, you can even buy a house, buy a Palawan, whatever that is. I don't know what a Palawan is. Palawan and Boracay tourist attraction in the Philippines. 100 islands, expat go there all the time. Manila and Makati, tons of expats.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I was like looking into it a little bit because we were talking about it a while back, and I was like, that might be something we want to look into in the future.
Yeah, if you have everything I've been fucking hearing from the dudes that are going there, some of them are called passport bros of different ages. And if you're on a fixed retirement income, they say you want to go to the fucking Philippines and just go there to retire, that your fucking retirement, there's a whole economy down there to capture people who are on retirement income. Because, the U.S. dollar is worth a lot there.
DVD Dragon just said Philippines is crazy cheap.
Yeah.
Amazing exchange rate.
Yeah,
That's what I was looking up. Like I said, he told me about it, and
Yeah.
I was looking up a lot about it. It's like, oh shit, man, maybe we should think about doing that like in a few years.
It's beautiful, and the people are real cool there.
Especially like in a few years, if we could actually sell this house and like make some profit off of it,
right.
then we could just like fucking retire there and like not even have to work if we didn't want to.
Yeah, and with the money from
we could just be lazy.
With the money from the house and then my retirement, fucking, I'd be able to finance a fucking mansion. Although I wouldn't even really need that.
That's what I mean. You don't really need that. It would just be me and you.
It would just be like a nice house for two.
Yeah.
And
you don't need to get anything like bigger than.
Right.
I don't really need all of that.
Then we just have the money to go out and fucking party and fucking go eat out every night.
Yeah, I would rather do something like that.
Yeah.
I would rather have like a smaller house that didn't need much maintenance.
Right.
And then spend money on just like going out and having fun and like traveling and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I kind of feel like some people like who's like, oh, I need this big fucking house with this and that and the other.
They get old fast. We don't use most.
Yeah,
of
like
house.
I said, I don't use a lot of it, and it's just kind of like it just kind of seems like, oh, you just got to either clean it or hire somebody to clean it. It's just kind of like it's a bunch of room that you don't use. You could
easily have a maid in Philippines.
Sure, but
okay, I'm going to the restaurant.
I'm just saying that it's like, yeah, you could have somebody come in like once a week and clean it so you didn't have to do it, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like having a bunch of space that you don't use. I would rather like spend money on going out and doing stuff. Like traveling, going places. You know what I mean? I don't need a big fucking house. I'm not going to hang out in there like all that long. I don't need a lot of room. You know? So, we'll see. Ben says, my brother lives in Vietnam. It's very cheap there, like him. Yeah. I looked into Vietnam, too, and that was, like, kind of another thing. Camp Guy said I could never move overseas. I have too many family here in the US of A. I mean, my family's in the USA, too, but the thing about it is that, I mean, I would miss them. I would miss my siblings, but I don't see them that much anyway because, you know, they live a little bit far away from me. So I only see them like a couple times a year anyway. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would miss them, but... And I'm getting to the age now where it's kind of like, you know, my grandparents are all dead, and it's just kind of like my parents are getting old, and, you know, like I said, really the only family members I would miss were my siblings, who are a little bit younger than me. And I don't get to see them that much anyway, sadly. Hopefully I can see them again in January, because my sister's coming back down. And we're all going to, like... We're trying to plan some shit for January. Maybe going to Epcot or something. But we'll see how that goes. Xanada said Art Bell did a show from the Philippines for a few years. I didn't actually know that. Xanada said that Art Bell did a show from the Philippines for a few years.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I thought he had a Filipino wife, didn't he? Or was she Native American?
Oh, I don't know.
Forgot.
I don't know. And then, Ben said my brother lives in Vietnam. It's very cheap there.
I heard that's another one that's a good one to go.
That was another one that I was looking into.
The thing is, though, is that being a veteran, they're going to adjust how much they send you based upon where you go. And if you go overseas, a lot of times in certain other countries, they give you a hassle. Or like, nah, you're over there. We're not going to fucking pay you the money. It's a lot easier if you go to a U.S. protectorate. Or, you know what I mean? Which is something in the American sphere. And the Philippines is a U.S. protectorate. So...
Ben said Indonesia is good, too.
Yeah. So, you know... And it's supposed to be a lot better than, say, Puerto Rico. Because there's nothing really in Puerto Rico, from what I understand. The exchange rate's really good, but there's nothing there.
Well, and I kind of feel like a lot of people go there. Mm-hmm. You kind of need to go somewhere that... Yeah. It's kind of like that weird middle ground between... You want somewhere that, like, other expats go to, so there's kind of like a community, but not so many go there that it's, like, gonna be expensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm perfectly willing to, like, move overseas.
A lot of passport bros are going there. Guys, you know, fucking trying to have their first marriage. They want to have kids, kind of a traditional wife, house, picket fence kind of thing. They wouldn't really have the money to do it here. They go to the Philippines.
Yeah.
And fucking, I've seen videos of these guys, and it's just like anything else. It's like a normal situation, you know. The guy's he's in good shape. He looks good. He's got a real good-looking young wife. She might be 5-10 years younger than him, and they're building a house together and having kids, you know. And when you look at the total cost that it cost him, it's a fraction of what that would cost in the U.S.
The U.S. is kind of expensive.
It's too expensive,
to be honest with you. Yeah, Camp Guy was saying earlier that it's like he has too much family in the U.S. to like move overseas. And he said, I have a married daughter with a stepkid, and my son has a daughter as well. Yeah. Same town. I've got 2 kids, a son or daughter-in-law, and 2 grandkids. Yeah, that's one thing. We
don't have to worry about that. We don't have kids, and all our family's old, getting ready to
like
die.
I said, in a way, I'm kind of glad I never had kids.
Yeah.
You know, I know that sounds
we're not tied down
cold or whatever, but I'm not. Like I said, the only people I would really admit, like, yeah, my mom is still alive.
Yeah.
My dad is still alive. Like, I would miss them, but they're getting older. Like I said, the only people I would actually miss were my siblings.
But they're scattered out, spread out.
And I don't see them that much anymore. Yeah. I don't see them as much as I would like to, because I really do actually like my 3 siblings. But other than that, I don't really, I wouldn't really be bothered. So, like, we don't really have any kids or anything like that. So...
The Philippines, the food looked good. They said it's great.
I mean, everything kind of looked awesome.
And it's just kind of a tropical kind of place. It looks a lot kind of like Florida in a certain way. You know what I mean? The trees and the green everywhere. And a lot of guys had more than one house. Like, the houses were small.
Yeah.
And they only cost like $150, $200 a month.
See, love that.
So they might have 2 of them. And then they buy a motorcycle and ride between the 2.
Right.
Like a little moped type looking thing.
Right. Because honestly...
One of them would be on the water and the other one would be more inland. So there's... And... Like, the guy was living on $1,500 a month, but he was fucking living like a king.
That's great, though.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, right, here...
2 houses.
You can't do shit on $1,500 a month. You can't have any kind of life on that kind of money in the U.S. It's not enough.
Yeah, the dude was in his fucking 60s, and he had all these fucking women in their 30s and 40s beating down his door trying to marry him. He's like, I don't want to get married, and they're like, he'd date them, and they'd fucking come into the house and start cleaning and cooking. He's like, get out of my kitchen. But they're trying to prove what great wives they are.
Wouldn't it be funny? Like, we'll move to the Philippines, and then like all these random ass women are like coming in the house,
cooking clean, and
like trying. And I'm like, hey, I'm here too. Hi.
Yeah, they're trying to. Well, it's
You'd probably be like, all right, you can come in, baby.
No, I know. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that in Brazil too. A lot of the working class women are very much into getting married, and they fucking flex the muscle of the wife's skill of how good cooks they are.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the skill that they have, and it's like, look, man,
right?
Like I said, everybody got to make a living.
Yeah,
I don't begrudge.
Right.
I'm just saying that would be super funny if we had a house in the Philippines and like all these random women are like walking in trying to like jump on.
It'd be like in Brazil, you know what I mean? You get a maid.
Right.
And
maid also be jumping on your dick.
No. Nah. You get one that is a worker. And there's in a Brazilian house there's a maid's quarters. It's like a little apartment inside the apartment. And that's where they live. And they're kind of like they live there for free, but they're on like an allowance.
Right.
And then they leave on certain days. They got days off. And they go back to their families and stuff, but they don't have their own home. They live in your home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
live rent free, but
which that would be fine.
Yeah, they fucking.
And actually, it would kind of be better if they had like their own little kind of apartment that was like outside or something like that, and then like they just come in like however.
Well, we mostly lived in apartments, and in Brazil, the apartment has a little apartment in it called the maid's quarters.
Yeah.
It's a miniature. It's got its own bathroom. It's got its own little sleeping quarters. It's usually behind the kitchen. And and they cook and clean and do laundry every day. And
that sounds nice.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be much,
Would she clean the cat boxes?
Yeah, they do all that. It'd be like $100. It'd probably be like $60 to $70 a week.
I love the kitties, but I do hate cleaning the cat boxes.
Yeah, but they live rent free.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
And they don't have children or anything.
Right.
They're either young or old. Like retired women or they're young women.
We'll get an old one.
Yeah.
We'll get an old one so you're not tempted.
So I'm not tempted. Ain't that something?
You don't want some 25-year-old hiding with like a better ass than me, like walking around mopping stuff, and Tom would be like,
in the Philippines, you get one like that, it'd be communal property. She'd be jumping in bed with both of us and shit.
Well, I mean that would be okay, but it's just, you know what I mean. As long as no one's doing anything behind anybody's back.
Yeah, not behind anybody's back. Yeah,
we don't like that.
Right.
But yeah,
we'll get one you like.
Then we can both.
Yeah, then you guys can go shop together. Talk about what asshole dudes are.
Well, yeah. Yeah. That's what girls do when we get together. Well, it's true.
Yeah.
Ben says, I've got a passport now. As a subject of the king, I'm entitled to a British passport. Took a lot of stuffing around, but I got it earlier this year. Now I just need to win the lottery. Yeah.
How old are you? Too. How old is he?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you can be a passport.
Xanadu said there's 30,000 Americans in Costa Rica. Yeah, a lot of Americans moved to Costa Rica. And then Ben said, that's a good spot, but they have bad roads. Well, I'm not planning on driving a lot, but I have heard Costa Rica was cool too. Ben says Philippines is full of terrorists and ninjas and drug dealers. At least in the movies I've seen.
Yeah, no. I'm not afraid of anybody in the Philippines.
Well, and it's not like that anyway.
No.
It's not like that anyway. Xanadu said, tell Tom.
Yeah.
Cocaine Cowboys is coming on Sunday.
Okay.
I found a Blu-ray.
It's coming. Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, exciting.
Cool.
Okay, so maybe we'll review that then.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll review it.
If it shows up in time, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tammy
you guys
said,
don't know what he's talking about.
Tell Tom the cocaine will be there Sunday.
Okay. If y'all don't know what he's talking about, because we've done a show about it before. You might be a new listener. We live in Florida. Florida, especially this southern half of Florida. That Florida skyline was built on cocaine. It was.
Yeah.
That's what Miami Vice was all about and everything. This was the entry point for cocaine into the United States.
Ben said he's 50.
He's 50. Okay.
So
yeah,
same.
You're going to be a passport, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to go to the Philippines.
Because I'm 51. He's 54.
Yeah.
So same age.
What was I saying? Florida was really built on cocaine. All the fucking governors knew fucking everything. You know, it was. They weren't actually trying to stop it from coming in. It was.
Well, no.
Part of the economy here. And there was a phenomenon called the Cocaine Cowboys. And they have a YouTube miniseries about them. And there were some dudes in Miami who helped. They facilitated the entrance of fucking cocaine into the country. Usually through little airplanes that they bought. And it was a very sophisticated fucking operation made by just local guys in Miami. And it's a very interesting story. They didn't consider themselves to be dangerous criminals or anything.
I guess you wouldn't.
Yeah, they were just trying to make money. And
we're just providing a service.
And
that's how you would think.
They tell their stories, and they were. I think the average person would kind of think they were unbelievable. They were not. But they were absolutely true. They get pulled over with a shit ton of cocaine in the trunk, and fucking warrants or whatever. You just tell the cops, because look, there's $1 million of cocaine back there in the fucking shit put on the cash. Just take it and let me go. And the cops would take it and let him go. Dudes would take 20-year sentences, and then they'd fucking help him escape out the back door. And nobody even knew that the dude was escaped. They thought he was still in prison, but no, he went back home. But he's just living a normal life.
I thought you were in prison this whole time.
They caught him later. What the fuck? I thought you were supposed to be in prison 5 years later. Nah. And that was the way Florida worked.
Yeah.
Now the reason why they called it Cocaine Cowboys is because you had guys from South America at the airfields here, dressed in cowboy outfits, fucking running around between all the airplanes with fucking early cell phones and walkie-talkies and shit.
They were like this big.
Yeah, they were like this big and fucking. And like they're handling all the fucking cocaine shipments into the United States through these fucking private airplanes. And they were just little bitty Colombian guys in cowboy outfits. Bringing all this cocaine in.
Xanadu said this movie makes you want to do cocaine.
It makes you want to do cocaine, yeah.
Tom has done cocaine.
I've done it. Did you do it all the time?
I've done cocaine one time. One time.
Yeah. But they would.
But it was shitty cocaine.
They would have fucking whole pallets of cash, millions of dollars, and they'd lose it and forget about it and just be up in a damn attic in some
that
house
is hilarious to me.
They'd forget all about it.
That you could like, oh my god, I totally forgot about this $1 million that I had.
They were busy.
I wish I had that problem.
They had so much money and they couldn't spend it all.
I wish I had that problem.
Yeah. They'd sell the house. They'd have a safe house where they would
they're like, oh yeah, I forgot that we like stuffed $1 million in cash
had a couple $1 million
up in the attic of that shit.
Attic, yeah,
oh well.
And then they'd sell the house later on, and that person would find the fucking cash and be, what the fuck is all this? And he'd go to the cops thinking he was in trouble. You should have just spent the fucking money.
Nah, bro.
They
I would
forgot
just keep
all about
it.
that money.
I would just keep that. I'm not telling the cops about shit. I found like a whole I found a whole pallet of cash in the attic of my house. I am not telling the cops about
nope
shit. No way.
I'm going to sit there and do the numbers. How long has that thing been here? How long has this money been here? How long have I been here?
Yeah, how long has this house been abandoned?
Yeah, they don't know about this money.
Right.
That's what
all right.
This money's mine.
This money is mine now.
That's what would happen.
That's exactly. That's
all right, I'm gonna take all this money. I'm gonna put it in a bank, and then we're going to fucking. We're moving to the Philippines. Far away from any drug dealers.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So. That's exactly what I would do too. Yeah, I'm moving onto the country with all of this money. So bye. Yeah, Xanada said it has all the archival footage from the 80s. You guys will really like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, he said the Netflix series is about the second generation guys. This movie I'm sending is about the OG guys in the 80s.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, see.
So you're talking about the Miami Vice guys from the Miami Vice era.
Yeah.
You guys don't know, if you're too young to know what Miami Vice was, there was a badass fucking television series called Miami Vice. It had Don Johnson.
I mean, it was very stylely receptive.
And they had, what was his name? Tubbs. It was Don Johnson.
What's that motherfucker's name?
And yeah, I forgot what that guy's name is.
I'll think of it in a second.
Yeah, and his fucking partner is a white guy and a black guy. They're two undercover fucking narcotics agents. And they're trying to stop the cocaine from coming in, and they're looking like drug dealers themselves. They're undercover guys. And it was just a fun little series from the 80s. But that was the
very slick,
the cocaine heyday, and it was cool as shit. They even sold John Johnson razors, and it was a razor that you could shave with.
Philip Michael Thomas, thank you.
Philip Michael Thomas.
Tammy, remember?
And they had razors, Don Johnson Miami Vice razors.
That's right, I forgot about those.
You could shave with that would leave stubble.
Yeah,
because he always has stubble.
Right.
So they had special razors.
That was a very big
stubble.
thing.
I remember that.
You had to have the Don Johnson stubble.
Yeah, and then they had fucking hair mousse.
Yep.
Because they wore that shit. And then the fucking
because your hair had to look like super greasy.
And pink suits, the peach colored suits, and fucking everything was
all those like pastel
color suits that they had.
Ew.
And and they're with Ferraris and shit. And Don Johnson had the baddest gun you could ever fucking imagine from the 80s. It was a Bren 10. And Bren 10 was basically a fucking American copy of the CZ75 9mm. The fucking Czechoslovakian pistol. It was hot as shit, but except it was in 10mm. And we're not talking about this pussy-ass 10mm that you have nowadays. You had the full-bore, full-load 10mm, which was up there with like 41 Magnum. All right? And that's the gun that he had. Bren 10. And full fucking bore, 10mm rounds. They had to tone those rounds down a little bit. They were too hard to shoot, and it would break the Bren 10 if you shot too much of it. There was too much stress on it. But yeah, that was the day. That was the day, man. I remember those. I was a kid. That shit was cool as shit back in the day.
I had forgotten about the stubble razor.
Yeah, the stubble razor.
When you brought it up, I remember. Yeah. Hair mousse, I remember. Like I said, everybody had to look like you had to mousse your hair back so it looked like super greasy. Mm-hmm. Like that was like kind of a big thing.
It looked greasy, but it was dry as shit. It was hard.
Yeah, it was like crunchy.
Crunchy. It's like fucking super hard.
Which is
hairspray, and it was a mullet basically, brushed back.
Yeah.
That's what you wore.
Yeah. DVD
and
Dragon says
Tubbs had a Jerry curl basically.
Well, yeah, he did.
Basically, it's Jerry curl. Yeah.
DVD Dragon says horror movie plot: Tom bites your ass and you turn into an alligator human hybrid.
She was wearing this black shorts. That
look, like I didn't know it was gonna happen exactly because he sits up on the weight machine.
Yeah.
Because I was spotting.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like, come here for a second. Come here for a second.
So turn around.
Turn around for a second. And I was just like, oh, what's gonna happen? And then he bite me right on that.
Bite her on the ass.
He bit me right on the ass.
She was wearing his little swim trunks.
And then later on, he was just kind of like, did I leave a bruise? Did I leave a bruise?
Yeah, I was in it.
He had to check and see if
he left messing with it some more.
Yeah. You didn't leave a
Nadrolone, man. She's on Nadrolone. It's fucking, it'll change the shape, man. She's becoming like a fucking
You would probably be into it if I turned into an alligator human hybrid. You'd probably okay.
No.
I don't know.
No. Here, help me with some of this. We're gonna here drink some of this.
Okay.
Help me with some of this. Okay.
Well, it probably needs ice.
No, it's good.
It doesn't need ice.
No, it's freezing cold. It just had ice.
Mm. Yeah, Xanada said you're gonna love this documentary.
Yeah, he said.
I'm looking forward to it.
He said Miami was averaging over 600 murders a year between 1980 and 84. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. I remember those days. I mean, that's why they made a whole TV show.
Y'all are probably not fucking up to fucking speed with Florida. But the whole southern half of Florida is basically Central America. Especially back in the 80s. One of their top drug dealers was the fucking cigar boat racer. He had this fucking speed boat. And they were actually televising his races. Mm-hmm. All right, this guy's be racing this fucking cigar boat, fucking going all 100-something miles an hour. And nobody questioned where this guy, who this guy is or whatever. He was a fucking drug dealer.
Well, we should note that there were a lot, back in the day, there were a lot of cigar factories in South and Central Florida.
Yeah.
Actually, Tampa is known for its old cigar factories. Here it comes. It's coming back again.
Yeah, we start coughing. Yeah.
We've been sick for the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe the last week or so. It is just like comes and goes. And I just start like hacking all of a sudden. He woke up in the middle of the night last night, hacking and coughing.
Yeah.
I heard it.
I'll tell you what. When we shut this down, I'm fucking starving, man. I want some.
You want some butter chicken?
I want some butter chicken.
All right. Okay, so I guess we'll shut it down.
Yeah. You guys have a nice night. It was real fun talking to y'all. We ushered you into your weekend.
Yeah.
Fucking Friday night. And tomorrow's going to be Saturday.
Yeah.
And if you guys couldn't go out, don't worry about it. We didn't go out either.
Yeah.
We go
out.
And we go out sometimes. We didn't go out tonight.
Kind of broke, kind of drunk.
It's the fucking... It's the holidays.
And it's the holidays.
It's the holidays.
Like, I still got to, buy Christmas presents.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, so Sunday, I'm planning on doing a stream on Sunday. And I'm going to talk about the 1981 movie, Fear No Evil. Monday, okay, so we'll either talk about The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot, or we might talk about the Cocaine Cowboys documentary, if that comes in time for us to watch it. We'll see what happens.
All right.
So we'll talk about that either way. Also Monday, I'm putting up a new video over my Crime and Memorial channel. It's going to be about the Mineral Washington murders from the 1980s. 1980s? Yeah. So I'm going to put up a video about that on Monday. I've already done it. I just haven't put the video up yet, but we're going to do that. So hopefully you guys had a good time listening to us jabber about whatever. Thank you for your super chats. Thank you for hanging out with us this Friday evening. And we will see you guys. Well, I'll probably see you again on Sunday, but we will both see you again on Monday. So good night.